While others cross over to become queens, she crosses over as an interstellar death row convict exiled to a barren planet. The crime? Torturing 18 husbands to death. But I've never even held hands with the opposite sex. She thought her life had come to an end. But little did she know this place would become her true paradise. All the powerful figures compete to be her partner. Not only is there a beautiful and gentle green python, but also a tender wolf king. Even the shy, clingy green vine, with countless tendrils, begs to cuddle with her every single day. When everyone calls her a vicious woman who deceives and abuses men, she becomes the woman all men on the barren planet are obsessed with. Leora Haverel opens her eyes to find herself in a high-tech room. Looking down at the heavy handcuffs on her wrists, she glances around in confusion. At the other women who were also chained up like her. Her face turns pale. Could she have encountered human traffickers? Suddenly, with a loud bang, the metal door gets kicked open. A 2-meter-tall man walks in, holding an electric baton with a fierce, menacing expression. The captain of criminal police looks at them with disgust. You evil women, don't expect anyone to plead for your mercy. Her Majesty the Queen has already given orders to send you to Planet Vamo to serve your sentence, never to return to the Empire. As soon as he finishes speaking, all the women except Leora turn pale with shock. Planet Vamo, infamous as a gray zone. The women's faces turn white with terror one by one. Only Leora remains confused and helpless. Who are all these people? How did they get kidnapped here? She remembers accidentally falling into an uncovered sewer. But what's the situation now? Why doesn't she have any memory of it? Leora wants to figure out what's happening. She gently tugs at the sleeve of the woman in front of her, but the next second she's pushed away. Get away from me. Maeve sees this deceptively beautiful face and her expression grows even colder. She'd better not let her return alive or she'll definitely tear apart those two traitors who used such despicable means to frame her. She is a count of the Empire, though she's fallen to become a criminal. That doesn't mean she has to tolerate this group of real criminals. Especially the woman in front of her named Fiona. Who would have thought such a beautiful, delicate face could hide hobbies more brutal and twisted than aliens? When more than a dozen disfigured male corpses were exposed, the entire nation was shocked. All of this came from the hands of the woman before her, so Maeve shows her no kindness whatsoever. Getting no response, Leora feels a deep sense of helplessness rise in her heart. She can only shrink into a corner to minimize her presence. After being confined for who knows how many days, the door opens from outside. Looking at the scenery outside, Leora realizes she's been in the air all this time. Suddenly, many uniformed men enter. They strap something like a backpack onto each woman, then push the women forward. "Help me!" screams drift in the wind. Leora closes her eyes in fear, waiting for intense pain and death to come. Pathetic. When you were hunting males, didn't you think about today's consequences? She hears disdainful mockery in her ear. Leora instinctively opens her eyes and realizes she's wearing a parachute. The woman beside her seems to despise her, trying hard to control her landing direction to get far away from her. But the wind is too strong, and their parachutes get tangled together. Maeve's expression looks terrible. Leora, experiencing this for the first time, also has a pale face, biting her lips hard to keep from screaming. Who knew their parachutes would get caught on the top of a large tree, leaving them hanging in midair in extremely uncomfortable positions? Leora wants to cry but has no tears. What is this place? What country are you people from? Leora's expression makes Maeve feel something is wrong. Maeve eyes her suspiciously, waving her hand in front of her. I'm Maeve. Who are you? I'm Leora Haverel. Maeve looks at her with searching eyes, pondering her intentions. The woman's face is undeniably beautiful, but looking closely, she notices differences between her and Fiona. Their eyes are different. Fiona's eyes are bluish, while this woman's are purple. Most importantly, these eyes are very clean, not like Fiona's hypocritical, seductive look. Maeve remains silent for a moment, then grabs her hand to carefully sense it. Her golden pupils flash with surprise. Such clean power. Just holding her hand makes all my fatigue disappear without a trace. In contrast, Leora is shocked and bewildered. When their hands clasp together, her mind gets filled with many things, but before she can examine them closely, they disappear without a trace. What kind of ability is this? And who are you really? Why do you look so much like Fiona? Leora shakes her head in confusion. I don't know her. What Fiona? I just took a fall, woke up on the plane, got tied up with you all, then got thrown down here. What country are you all from and why were you tied up? Leora feels dizzy from hanging and can't help but dry heave. Let's talk about this later. We need to figure out how to get down first. The two struggle to reach the ground. I'm so thirsty. Where can we find water? Leora looks around helplessly. Maeve looks at the woman who hasn't recovered yet. Leora, rest here for a while. I'll look for water nearby. After speaking, Maeve leaves. No one notices something moving above Leora's head. At some point, a thin green vine extends from the thick tree trunk. Leora, resting against the tree, feels nothing. After resting for about 10 minutes, she decides to walk further and look around. Seeing the woman walk away, the large tree urgently extends its vines to wrap around her waist. Leora's heart jumps. But the next second, her handcuffs and ankle cuffs get snapped off by the vines. The thinner vines reluctantly leave her body and sway in front of her, showing off. What's happening? Is this some weird ritual? Leora feels scared. She stares at the green vine in bewilderment. What do you want to do? Oh, her voice is so pleasant. Leora thinks the vine might understand what she's saying. Thank you for helping me unlock the handcuffs, but I'm thirsty and hungry now. I need to find water and food, so I can't play with you. So she's hungry. That's his oversight. The green vine feels apologetic. Then the vine starts to thicken, wrapping around Leora completely and bringing her to a small river. "So you brought me to find water. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. No need to apologize to me." The green vine sways, then sets the woman down and urges her to drink water. Leora smiles slightly at the green vine. The green vine sighs inwardly. If he had met such a beautiful, lovely woman earlier, perhaps he wouldn't have become what he is now. Just then, a surprised voice comes from nearby. "Leora, how did you find this place?" "Maeve, great! You're here too. He brought me here." She points toward the large tree behind her. Maeve follows her pointing direction to look at the tree, and the next second she's greatly shocked. It's one of the abandoned. She instinctively pulls Leora, ready to flee at any moment. "What are the abandoned?" Maeve keeps her eyes warily on those vines as she explains. "The abandoned are those who have been cast aside. They're all males whose mental power has collapsed and lost their reason. They're brutal and bloodthirsty. If you encounter them, you must stay far away, or they'll torture us to death." "Leora, what race are you?" Maeve's sudden question leaves Leora stunned. After half an hour of communication, the two exchange information. Through her description, Maeve understands that this woman named Leora can't transform and comes from a remote planet. She was kidnapped to planet Victoria by interstellar traffickers, and happened to look similar to Fiona. So she confusedly took the blame for someone else. Leora also basically understands where she is and information about the Empire. Maeve asks the vine with certainty, "You haven't completely lost your reason, have you?" The green vine nods its tip. Seeing this, Maeve's worried heart finally settles. She had guessed as much. The abandoned who have lost reason are primitive beasts, cruel and bloodthirsty, but would never be like this vine. Leora is really lucky to have encountered an abandoned who still has reason. "We still don't know your name." The green vine eagerly uses its tip to write the word leaf in the ground. "Leaf, nice to meet you. I'm Maeve." Maeve extends her hand to the green vine. The green vine symbolically wraps around her hand and shakes it lightly, then moves toward Leora. Leora imitates Maeve and shakes hands with the green vine. "Hello, Leaf. I'm Leora. I'm very fortunate to meet you." This time, the green vine eagerly wraps around her, and Leora thoughtlessly grips the vine back. For some reason, shaking hands with her makes him feel indescribably comfortable all over. At this moment, excitedly, he hasn't realized his body is different. The vine wraps around, reluctant to let go, letting Leora hold and study the green vine in her palm, until Maeve teases aloud, "Is it fun? You've been holding on for so long and won't let go." Only then does Leora realize she's been holding someone's hand all along. Her face turns red immediately, and she quickly releases the green vine, saying awkwardly, "Sorry, I forgot this was your hand. You don't need to apologize. You can touch as long as you want, it doesn't matter." The vine sways reluctantly. The evening breeze blows coolly and comfortably. The two women and Leif sit not far from the riverside. The green vine gently sways and moves its trunk next to Leora, growing a vine meadow. The lush green grass looks soft and clean. Leora and Maeve lie with their heads together, saying softly, "Maeve, Leif, good night." "Good night to you too." Leif quietly watches the woman's sleeping face, feeling a special kind of satisfaction in his heart. The vines grow unrestrained, slowly taking the shape of a blanket and carefully covering Leora. When he touches Leora, a small red flower suddenly blooms on a branch at the top of the tree in the dark night. Leif nervously takes a breath, carefully wrapping the woman in his vines. The evening breeze blows gently, and Leora turns over in her sleep, hugging the vine blanket. Leif feels a surge of heat rush to his head. He thinks this is his happiest night. The fatigue from his mental realm makes Leif uncontrollably sleepy, and he falls asleep holding Leora like this. Chirp, 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 chirp. Two birds chatter as they fly across the sky. Leif suddenly wakes up, unable to help being shocked that he fell asleep so unguardedly. Dawn is breaking. Leif reluctantly withdraws his vines. The moment he leaves the woman's body, he suddenly thinks of something. Yesterday, he was clear-headed all day and didn't have a headache. Could this be a precursor to being invaded by the alien virus? Thinking of this possibility makes him panic and feel desolate. He's only known Leora for one day. How can this be? Leora wakes up from the cold. Is it dawn already? Leora yawns and her sleepy eyes clear up a bit. Where did this flower come from? It's so beautiful. Leora discovers a small flower that fell on her leg and picks it up casually. The small flower is red, like a rose, bright and beautiful. Leif just watches Leora's movements without speaking, but silently notes her preferences in his heart. Leora brings it close to her nose and smells it. There's a faint fragrance, very light, and she can't tell what it smells like. Leora holds up the small flower and laughs. Leif, look, is this little flower pretty? Let me pin it on your vine. She gently tugs at Leif's green vine and tries to pin the small red flower on it. She doesn't know if the vine is too hard or she used too much force, but not only does it not pin on, she also crushes the petals. She can only sheepishly throw it away. This flower isn't good. When I find bigger, more beautiful flowers, I'll bring them to you. Seeing the discarded flower, Leif doesn't have time to feel regret before hearing Leora's words. Leora actually thinks his flower isn't good, and says she wants to find bigger flowers. Leif feels a bit wronged. Maeve, who has finished washing up, walks over and nods lightly to Leif in thanks. Leif, you're a good man. You must persist. If we can leave here, I'll definitely find a way to get someone to heal you. Hearing this, Leif instinctively gets excited, but quickly cools down because he knows he can't possibly be healed. Men who have become abandoned cannot be healed by anyone. The green vine disappointedly writes on the ground, "Thank you for your kind intention, but no one can heal the abandoned." The short line makes Maeve's heart tighten, and Leora understands too. Thinking that Leif is slowly waiting to die makes her unable to help feeling sad. In her heart, she already considers Leif a friend, but he's about to die. Leora's eyes uncontrollably redden and moisten. She quickly wipes them when no one notices. In contrast, Leif is the calmest. He has long known his fate. However, seeing both Leora and Maeve sad for him, for that moment he feels his life was worth it. At least someone still cares about him. Leora, thank you for being sad for me, even if just for a moment. Leif sees the woman's reddened, moist eyes. His heart feels both happy and bitter. How he wants to transform into human form to embrace her, even just once. The vine quietly wraps around Leora's wrist with gentle, comforting intent. Leora's nose feels sour, and her other hand gently strokes the vine. She's just about to say a few comforting words when she's stunned by the soft light emanating from her palm. What is this? She drops her hand as if burned, looking back and forth at her palm in shock. This shout startles Maeve too. What's wrong? Leora points to her hand that was just glowing, so excited she stutters. Did you see that just now? My hand seemed to glow. Leif and Maeve look at her strangely. So what if it glowed? Leora is a bit speechless. My hand glowed and you don't think that's strange? Maeve finds her fuss amusing. Glowing is normal. Look, I can do it too. She spreads her palm, and the next second, red light emanates from her palm. Her expression is completely ordinary. This is the aura of your abilities. Even newborn cubs have this. Leora blinks foolishly. The aura of my abilities? Don't tell me I have supernatural abilities too. Suddenly, Leif becomes restless and anxious. The green vine writes on the ground, "We need to leave immediately. It's not safe here." This sudden statement leaves Maeve stunned. Leif has already carefully wrapped Leora and placed her on top of his tree. Without time to explain much, he quickly writes, "Someone has caught your scent and is coming." Before he can finish the last few words, the vine has already tied up Maeve completely, and the next second, they all disappear. Wolf howls echo through the forest. In the blink of an eye, a silver streak of light chases after them. It's a giant silver wolf over 3 meters tall, with deep green pupils that are cruel and bloodthirsty. They all instantly feel a strong sense of crisis. The silver wolf's attack comes fiercely. Colorless blades break through the air and pierce deeply into Leif's tree body. Leif lets out a muffled groan. The place where the blade pierced flows with blue-green liquid. The silver wolf howls up at the sky. Its originally 3-meter tall body expands by another 2 meters, and its deep green pupils are quietly tinged with blood red. When its massive jaws open, a hurricane whips up on the ground. The hurricane spins larger and larger. Seeing this, Leif's heart jumps in alarm. He hurriedly strengthens his defenses, but his power is dispersed among every vine, while his opponent's power is concentrated in one place. The silver wolf Kyle Fenrir borrows force in midair again and leaps to the treetop. He sees Leora, who is tightly protected by vines on the treetop. The wolf's sense of smell is among the best of all races. He came following this scent. How rare, he hasn't smelled such a pure female scent in a long time. This woman is his. Kyle weighs his options for a second and decides to give up killing Leif. Taking advantage of Leif's distraction, Kyle grabs the woman in his mouth and speeds away. Leora! Leif becomes furious. His tree roots lift from the ground and he chases after them. The movement is earth-shaking, but he's still too slow. His race has the lowest sensitivity to sense among all races. After chasing for a while, he loses the silver wolf's trail. Leif's 20-plus meter tree body rapidly shrinks. He's already exhausted, shrinking back to 2 meters in just a few seconds. The moment Maeve's feet touch the ground, she breathes a sigh of relief, thinking it's finally over. She's about to ask questions but stops abruptly. She stares in shock at the tree body in front of her flowing with blue-green liquid. Broken vine fragments are scattered all around him, and even the small green vine that used to greet them is gone. Seeing the extremely anxious Maeve, he doesn't have the energy to explain. Leora, wait for me. I will definitely find you. Leif slowly falls asleep to restore his strength, while Maeve, getting no response, feels her heart sink more and more. She only knows that a fierce battle just took place, but she didn't expect it to be this serious. Leif is injured so badly, and Leora is nowhere to be found. Thinking of the wolf howls she heard earlier, the bad feeling in her heart grows stronger. Was Leora taken by a suddenly appearing werewolf? The subject of their worry is currently unconscious, being carried in the wolf's mouth as he shuttles through the forest. No one sees the golden diamond-shaped mark that appears on the unconscious woman's forehead, disappearing slowly after 1 minute. After an unknown amount of time, Leora wakes up from the heat. She feels so hot, like someone wrapped her in a wool blanket. The heat makes her sweat profusely, and someone is brushing something on her face. She slowly opens her eyes and meets a pair of aggressive pupils. Oh my god, a wolf is licking her. She pushes hard. Leora feels like her heartbeat is about to stop. Her sudden awakening also stuns the silver wolf for a moment, but only for a moment. The wolf's paw quickly presses her down, and aggressive, dark pupils examine her. It's a cave. Help me. Leora keeps struggling. She doesn't know what she kicked, but the silver wolf suddenly makes warning whimpering sounds. Its tongue moves from her face to her neck. Leora's mind goes blank. Get up. Leora's body feels like electric currents are passing through it, giving her goosebumps all over. Get away! Leora shouts angrily. Hearing Leora's angry shout, Kyle raises his head to meet a pair of furious eyes. His wolf pupils flash with cruel light, and he provocatively extends his tongue to lick her chin. Leora is so anxious that tears flow out. Stay away from me, you're disgusting! Kyle's body stiffens. He raises his fierce, cruel pupils and coldly locks onto her. Leora is terrified by his stare, and her tears fall like broken strings. For some reason, Kyle becomes increasingly irritated by these eyes. Women abandoned by the Empire end up as playthings for the abandoned, but now he can't bring himself to do it. Leora cries while observing the silver wolf. She bites her lip and decides to try persuading him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scold you just now. I was just scared. You're different from those wild beasts, aren't you? Please let me go. We can talk things through. Even someone as cold as Kale feels his heart soften at Leora's attitude and voice. He wants to know what the woman in front of him wants to do. No female has ever spoken to him like this. He wants to hear more. Kyle finally jumps down from the bed and crouches not far away, but his gaze remains locked on Leora. Leora breathes a sigh of relief. After tidying up her clothes, she realizes a pair of eyes has been watching her the entire time. Can you wait for me for a moment? I want to go outside to use the bathroom. Kyle nods, then takes the lead walking out of the cave, seemingly leading the way. Leora quickly chases after him and calls out, "You can just wait here. I'll find a place myself." "I'll be quick." Blushing with embarrassment, she finishes speaking and doesn't wait for the silver wolf's response before searching for a suitable spot nearby, quickly hiding behind a thick tree. Kyle's ears twitch, and he lies lazily on the grass at the cave entrance waiting for her. At this moment, Leora, hiding behind the tree, smiles bitterly. Her transmigration wasn't an accident, but inevitable. She accepted some kind of inheritance while unconscious. She's actually a person born on this continent, but for unknown reasons, she was taken to Earth as a baby and became an orphan. Having just received the inheritance, she has an innate understanding of her abilities and naturally knows what's going on. Leora looks back at the silver wolf with closed eyes. If not now, when else can she run? But just as she circles around a 2-meter-thick giant tree, she sees a familiar flash of silver. The silver wolf lies lazily in the grass, watching her with great interest. This wolf is indeed different from ordinary wild beasts. Before she can figure out what to do, the silver wolf pounces. Sharp wolf fangs press against Leora's neck. She tilts her head to the side. "Actually, I'm hungry. I was looking for something to eat." Her stomach growls cooperatively at that moment. The hunger comes fierce and sudden, as if she hasn't eaten for several days. What started as pretense becomes real. Leora immediately clutches her stomach from hunger, and her head starts to feel dizzy. She calls out in her mind, "I'm doomed. I have low blood sugar. Am I going to faint?" Kyle sees the weak woman and immediately leaves without hesitation. Soon, the silver wolf returns to her side with wild fruits in his mouth. Kyle opens his mouth and drops the wild fruits in front of her. Leora looks at the fist-sized, wild fruits. "Thank you for helping me." She picks up a fruit and puts it in her mouth. Leora acts like she's been starving for 3 days and nights, wolfing down 2 fruits before feeling like she's come back to life. Kyle hears a female say thank you for the first time. His heart can't help but soften. This is the most polite female he's ever met. The wolf paw clears a small patch of ground, using the claw tip to write on the ground, "Are you full?" "Almost. I'm not that hungry anymore. Can you tell me your name?" The silver wolf whimpers softly and uses his paw to write his name. Kyle Fenrir. Kyle Fenrir. Leora silently repeats his name once. The murmuring tone reaches Kyle's ears, making his heart feel like it's being tickled by a feather. Leora looks at him and smiles. "Kale, that's a nice name. I'm Leora." Kale's tongue circles in his mouth, but he can't make any sound. His eyes inevitably darken. As his emotions fluctuate, his deep green wolf pupils gradually get filled with blood red. The silver wolf suddenly makes painful whimpering sounds. The virus is attacking again. Leora backs away several steps in shock. "Hey Kale, what's wrong with you?" The silver wolf frantically crashes around, then dashes away in the opposite direction and disappears. Leora sighs, carrying complex emotions as she runs in the opposite direction from the silver wolf. Maeve said that abandoned beasts are like ticking time bombs. You never know when they'll explode. She won't wait for Kale to return. Maybe he won't come back either. She can't do anything about it. Being able to stay alive herself is already good enough. By evening, Leora sits by a river resting. She's been lucky on this journey. Not only did she not encounter wild beasts, but she also accidentally found a small river. Leora tries to transform but fails repeatedly. For some reason, she just can't transform. Moreover, her supernatural ability can only stimulate plant growth, but can't use plants for attacks. Hiss! Leora cries out softly. She was so focused on thinking about supernatural abilities that she didn't notice getting scratched by a tree branch. Leora looks at her wound, her eyes brightening slightly. Can she try using her supernatural ability? She channels her ability toward the wound. She clearly feels a warm yet cool sensation at the wound site. In less than 2 seconds, the wound on her arm disappears. She opens her eyes wide with joy. So she has healing-type abilities. Leora discovers a new function of her ability and is curiously experimenting with it, completely unaware of Kyle slowly approaching from behind. Kyle has no time to question why she ran again. Before Leora can react, she's picked up in Kyle's mouth. With a few leaps, they leave the area. Brought back to the cave, Leora doesn't have time to speak before Kyle presses her onto the stone slab and licks her from top to bottom, covering her with his scent. Leora's face turns red from the licking. She's both angry and annoyed. "You've gone too far." Regarding the female's anger, Kyle just glances at her indifferently, then extends a claw to write on the ground. "Your scent will attract more of the abandoned. Stay in the cave and don't wander around. I'll go find you something to eat. If you dare run again, don't blame me for tying you up so you can never get out." Leora's eye twitches violently. Don't worry, I won't run anymore. It's dangerous outside. Only here with you makes me feel safe. Kyle turns and leaves the cave. The silver light whooshes away and disappears. Soon, Kyle returns. He carries a branch in his mouth with 5 or 6 wild fruits on it. His claws hook a small dead prey. As soon as he enters the cave, he puts it on the ground and lies down motionlessly. Leora walks over and crouches beside the silver wolf, examining him. Seeing the bloodstains on his body makes her feel sorry for him. You're injured. I have healing type abilities. After I finish eating, let me treat your wounds, okay? The silver wolf's heart is both surprised and puzzled. Females with healing abilities are extremely precious to the Empire. How could they possibly be exiled to planet Vamo unless she committed an unforgivable crime? But no matter how he looks, he doesn't think the woman in front of him could commit any major crime. He can't help writing on the ground. How did you come to be here? Leora, who is nibbling on fruit, sees this and replies, I was mistakenly arrested. I was unconscious due to an accident before. When I woke up, people threw me off a plane. I've been here for about 2 days now. Leora's answer greatly surprises and angers Kyle. Mistakenly arrested? What are the Empire's criminal police doing? They can arrest the wrong person. Such a beautiful, lovely Leora was also thrown to planet Vamo. If she hadn't met him, who knows what kind of abuse she would have suffered. Kale, I'm full. Lie down in a comfortable position. Let me treat your wounds. Kale cooperates by walking further inside, jumping onto the stone slab, then lying down comfortably. Leora carefully examines the bloody areas. The wolf fur is all matted together with blood. Kale knows he looks somewhat disheveled and instinctively avoids Leora's gaze, not wanting to see disgust in her eyes. But he can't help secretly watching with peripheral vision. When he discovers there's no disgust or dislike in Leora's eyes, his wolf tail wags slightly in small movements. His gaze uncontrollably stares directly at Leora. He wants to completely possess this person. The silver wolf's gaze gradually becomes fiery and serious. Leora, focused on examining the wounds, doesn't pay much attention. Hidden under the wolf fur, the wounds aren't noticeable without careful observation. Only upon close inspection does she discover the silver wolf has so many shocking wounds. Leora feels quite uncomfortable in her heart. He not only didn't rest, but also went to find food for her with his injured body. Doesn't it hurt? With so many wounds, you must be in a lot of pain. I'll treat you right away. You'll stop hurting very soon. Kyle's mouth opens and closes. He wants to tell her that these wounds are routine for him and he can't feel pain anymore, but ultimately says nothing. Leora begins treatment. The moment the supernatural ability covers the wounds, Kyle involuntarily makes a comfortable sigh. His wolf pupils flash with surprise. Such pure power. Leora's healing ability is the cleanest and purest he's ever seen. Those waste from the Empire, if they knew they had discarded such a wonderful Leora, what would their reaction be? Under the ability's treatment, wounds under the wolf fur heal one by one. Under this warm power, Kyle feels like he's had a top-tier full-body massage. Besides being extremely comfortable, he can't find other words to describe it. His entire body completely relaxes, enjoying a relaxation he hasn't had in many years. Leora treats very seriously, not missing any wound. After treating the wolf's entire body, several hours have passed. Kyle has long since fallen asleep, sleeping completely unguarded, giving the impression of a simple, harmless big dog. Leora doesn't wake him. With him asleep, she can also relax for a while. She silently yawns, lies down gently clothed behind Kyle, and slowly falls asleep. In the quiet, pitch-black cave, only 2 gentle breathing sounds rise and fall alternately, sleeping peacefully and sweetly. But another part of the forest isn't so lucky. During Leif's slumber, Maeve serves as both bodyguard and sentinel. Her own ability level isn't bad, basically able to solve her food and shelter needs. She hasn't left Leif to act alone for 2 reasons. First, she doesn't know Leora's whereabouts. And second, acting alone is too dangerous with a high probability of encountering abandoned beasts. It's better to wait for Leif to wake up and act together. This wait lasts a day and a night. During this time, besides worrying about Leora's safety and Leif's injuries, she doesn't encounter much trouble. Finally, Leif wakes up in the evening. As he suspected, Leora was indeed taken by the wolf. Can you track the wolf's trail? Leif writes regretfully, I'll try my best. My ability has recovered pretty well now. Let's set out to find Leora. Night quietly passes, and dawn arrives as promised. The first ray of morning sunlight shines into the cave entrance, also illuminating the embracing wolf and person inside the cave. The sunlight hits his eyelids. The sleeping silver wolf's eyelids move slightly, and the next second he opens his eyes to scan the surroundings. This is just his instinctive reaction. Actually, Kyle's brain short-circuits for a moment. Where am I? Who am I? Looking down at the person in his arms, his memory slowly returns. He remembers now. Last night, the female helped him treat his wounds, and he fell asleep during the treatment. He realizes he fell asleep in Leora's arms last night. It's hard to believe since the virus infection worsened, he hasn't had a good night's sleep. But last night he slept like a log. He carefully examines his body and is delighted to discover that his wounds are completely healed, and his body is well rested. Feeling full of strength, Kale is utterly shocked. He looks at Leora with deep, complex eyes. Leora's healing ability actually has such strong effects. Not only has his body recovered to optimal condition, but his mental realm has also stabilized. No one can heal the mental realm of the abandoned. After his mental power collapsed twice, he endures side effects every day. His head often hurts like needles stabbing. This pain has never stopped for a single day, but today he doesn't feel any pain pain at all. He vaguely senses that maybe Leora's ability can truly heal his mental realm. Thinking of this possibility, Kael's breathing immediately becomes rapid. Looking at the sleeping Leora is like looking at a beast god. Leora wakes up from the heat. The first thing she sees is a tuft of white fur. When she realizes what's happening, she cries out softly and quickly turns to sit up. Seeing their embracing position, she feels somewhat embarrassed. Being startled awake by Leora, Kael not only isn't angry but feels a secret joy and excitement. He can't focus on this right now. He just wants to figure out one thing first. The wolf jumps down from the stone slab, his paws trembling with excitement. The wolf paw writes on the ground, "Please channel your ability into my body once more." Leora looks puzzled. Why? I'll tell you the reason in a moment. Just try first. After writing, the silver wolf crouches by Leora's legs, extends his paw eagerly, and looks at her devotedly. Although this really looks like a large dog, she thinks, while maintaining a suspicious expression and gripping the wolf paw, channeling her ability toward it. The familiar gentle power makes Kael expectant. He closes his eyes to carefully feel it. After about 5 minutes, Kael opens his surprised eyes, looking at her with remarkably bright eyes. In contrast, Leora feels uncomfortable being stared at like this and quickly withdraws her hand. Why are you looking at me like that? Are you plotting something? Kael is so excited he doesn't know what to say. He immediately dashes outside and howls excitedly at the sky outside the cave. Leora looks completely baffled as she steps outside. She sees the silver wolf jumping and bouncing in front of the cave entrance like he's overjoyed. At this moment, Kael wants nothing more than to immediately fly up to the sky and give the beast god a hug, thanking the beast god for letting him so luckily meet this woman. The excited Kael sees Leora standing at the cave entrance. His paw excitedly and quickly writes on the ground, "Leora, your ability can purify the alien virus in my body. Please accept me as your partner. I will be a qualified mate. I will use my life to protect you." At this moment, Kael no longer has his initial cold arrogance. The mighty silver wolf instantly transforms into a big dog, just short of wagging his tail. "You say I can purify the virus in your body? That's impossible." She remembers Maeve saying that the abandoned cannot be healed by anyone. The silver wolf nods excitedly. "Yes, I can feel it. Maybe I can still recover to become a normal beastman. Leora, please help me. If my supernatural ability can really heal you, then I'm willing to try helping you. But if it doesn't work, you can't blame me." They return to the cave again. Kael's wolf head very consciously rests on her thigh. Leora looks down at the wolf head on her lap and channels her ability, tentatively placing her hand on the silver wolf's crown. Looking at Kael, who trusts him so completely, she can't help but curve her lips slightly. The head is the most vulnerable part of a beastman. One wrong move could turn him into an idiot. Does he trust her so much not to harm him? She closes her eyes and slowly channels her ability. Then she discovers something different. She can actually sense his mental realm. She sees Kael's mental realm densely covered with black spots and purple light points. The black spots keep reproducing and moving, trying to fill this space completely. Although the purple light points are driving away and eliminating the spots, the elimination speed can't keep up with the spots' reproduction rate. Before long, this place will be completely occupied by black spots, which means the person's consciousness will completely disappear. Leora discovers this like finding a new continent. She has some intuitive understanding, so this is how mental power works. She instinctively begins examining Kael's physical condition. When she senses that his body doesn't reject her, she increases her ability output. Instantly, a third color floods into the purple mental realm. Milky white light points surge in powerfully, merging with the purple light points. The situation immediately reverses. Leora controls her mental power, working hard to clean this place until her body signals fatigue, then withdraws her ability. She has cleaned about 1/5. A few more sessions and she can completely eliminate it. Opening her eyes, she finds it's already dusk and her stomach is growling with hunger. At the same time, Kael also opens his eyes. He feels even lighter than in the morning, extremely delighted. "Thank you." Leora can't understand his beast language and just touches her stomach. "I'm hungry. I'll go hunting right away." The silver wolf ingratiatingly nuzzles her hand and dashes out to hunt. His body feels much lighter than before, and Kael moves like silver lightning. As the sky gradually darkens, after Kael returns from hunting, he takes her to the riverside. One person and one wolf sit around a campfire. The evening breeze by the river blows. Leora stares at the roasting meat over the fire, lost in thought, her mind wandering somewhere far away. Kael stays by her side, quietly watching her daydream. He really wants to freeze this moment forever. Just looking at someone he likes makes his mood so wonderful. If he could mate with this female, he can't imagine how happy he would be. The aroma of roasted meat emerges. Leora flips the meat and removes it with a sharpened stick, bringing it to Kael's mouth matter-of-factly. "It's hot. Blow on it." Kael immediately diligently blows on the roasted meat. If his teacher knew that his level 9 wind-type ability, concentrated to the extreme, was being used to blow on roasted meat, he'd probably be so angry he'd come here personally to beat him up. "I'm done eating. Let's go back." With an excited wolf howl, Kael takes the person back. This wolf howl travels very far and very unfortunately reaches the ears of two people. Leif immediately trembles, all over, listening intently to the direction of the howl. Maeve hears it too, but she can't distinguish whose voice it is, so she doesn't pay attention for the moment. Leif, recognizing the voice, gets excited and writes with his vine tip, "I heard that wolf's voice. He's nearby. He and Leora are nearby. I'm going to rescue Leora." Maeve's heart leaps with joy. "Really? You didn't mishear. The vine quickly writes on the ground, I won't mishear the wolf's voice. Following the direction of the sound, they arrive at the riverside where Leora roasted meat. Maeve sniffs hard. There's Leora's scent here, but it's faint. There's more of a dangerous male scent. No doubt this is that wolf smell. The firewood is still warm, indicating the wolf left not long ago. Leif quickly scribbles a few words on the ground. I know where he went. Follow me. Leif isn't particularly good at scent tracking, but he tries to track as close to Leora as possible. Fortunately, he's quite lucky. The wolf's lair turns out to be nearby. To avoid alerting them, Leif stops about 500 meters from the cave. He writes on the ground, Maeve, wait here. The wolf and Leora are in the cave ahead. I'll make this quick. After writing, he quietly approaches the cave. The vine crawls in from the corner along the ground. The cave's interior isn't very large. You can see the large stone slab that could fit 2 or 3 people lying down as soon as you enter. When he sees the scene inside, Leif freezes, followed by indescribable heartache. What he sees is that wolf lying on Leora's lap, while Leora not only shows no pain but looks down at the wolf with gentle, lowered eyes. The entire cave is filled with the wolf's annoying scent, including on Leora. This scene nearly breaks Leif's heart. He, who never needed to breathe, now feels like he's suffocating. Leora, she actually accepted the wolf. Why? How is he inferior to the wolf? Kyle, immersed in treatment, suddenly senses a hint of dangerous aura. His sharp wolf pupils snap open like swords shooting toward the vine that has crept close. Just as killing intent flashes in his eyes, the vine moves, wrapping around the female's slender waist like lightning, about to withdraw. When Kyle opens his eyes, Leora's ability is interrupted. She's about to open her eyes and ask when she discovers she's airborne. Before she can react, silver light flashes before her eyes and she falls back onto the stone slab. With a thud, she's the only one left in the cave. She looks shocked. What just happened? Then crackling sounds come from outside. Leora quickly jumps off the stone slab and runs out to look. Standing at the cave entrance, she sees Kyle fighting with a tree. The supernatural abilities of both clash, making crackling noises. Leif? This can't be possible! She instinctively shouts toward the tree. Leif, is that you? Leora's voice makes Leif's swinging vines pause. The next second, a thin green vine grows from the tree trunk and reaches toward Leora. It wraps around her wrist and crawls up her arm to nuzzle her face. Leora shows delight. It really is Leif. Seeing this scene, Kyle's face turns green. He looks at Leif with murderous eyes and charges at him. Kyle, no! Leora is terrified. Without thinking, she rushes over and spreads her arms to block in front of the large tree. Don't! Kyle urgently pulls back his attack, looking sadly at Leora protecting that plant. That hurt, wronged look makes Leora feel slightly guilty. Wait, Kale, there must be some misunderstanding here. I know him. His name is Leif. Like you, he's also an abandoned who still retains his reason. Leif, how did you find this place? Where's Maeve? Leif has to temporarily stop attacking. His vine writes on the ground, Maeve is nearby. We came to rescue you. Kyle also sees the words and roars angrily at Leif, baring his fangs as if he'll pounce any second. Kyle, go back to the cave first. Leif is my friend. After speaking, she says to Leif, where's Maeve? Let's go get her first. Then everyone can sit down and talk things through slowly. Leif suppresses his urge to beat that wolf to death and reluctantly turns around to lead the way. Kyle droops his tail unhappily as he follows behind. Soon they see Maeve. Leora waves at her. Maeve! Maeve sees the lively Leora running toward her. Leora, you're okay. That's wonderful. Only when she gets closer does she notice a dark shadow behind. A few minutes later, everyone sits inside the cave. The already small cave becomes crowded. Leora explains what happened over these 2 days and tells everyone some good news. She seems to be able to heal the abandoned. Is this true, Leora? Can you really heal the abandoned? Maeve stands up in shock, her eyes full of disbelief. This is too incredible. Since the war with aliens began, there has never been a supernatural ability that could treat the abandoned. If this is true, then Leora is too important to the Empire. Leif also gets excited, but he doesn't dare hope too much, afraid of being disappointed. Kyle on the side wants to stop her, but it's too late. He didn't expect Leora to reveal this so casually. Such an innocent Leora. This kind of special and extremely important ability should only be revealed to completely trusted people. Fortunately, this is planet Vamo. Word can't get back to the Empire. Leora says uncertainly, I'm not sure yet. I'm currently helping Kyle with treatment. We'll know whether it works when the time comes. Leif, if it really works, I'll definitely help you too. Then you can live a normal life in the future. Leif wraps around Leora's wrist with deep love, his vine carefully and gently coiling. Maeve looks at Leora with complex expression. Leora, do you know what this ability of yours means? What does it mean? Maeve says excitedly. It means our empire will no longer have abandoned. You're the empire's savior. Leora is stunned. She thinks Maeve is being a bit dramatic. Even if she has this ability, she's just one person. With so many abandoned, how could she save them all? At this moment, Kyle writes on ground visible to everyone, so what? She's already been abandoned by the empire, Maeve argues matter-of-factly. Who says Leora was abandoned by the empire? She was framed and took someone else's blame, which is why she was exiled here. What do you mean? Hearing her words, Leora is stunned. Wasn't she mistakenly arrested? Maeve explains. Don't you remember? When we first met, I mistook you for someone named Fiona. Leora nods. Seeing she still remembers, Maeve continues. Leora, you look 90% similar to Fiona. You said you have no memory of how you were arrested. I can conclude that you were set up and framed by Fiona and her partners. Maeve sighs and explains from the beginning, detailing the crimes and punishments of the women who were tied up with them that day. Leora listens in shock. The ladies she thought were kidnapped victims are all murderers and sadistic abusers. Maeve nods at the shocked Leora. That's right. They got what they deserved. Especially Fiona. She tortured and killed at least a dozen males, 5 of whom were her own partners. No wonder the uniformed males on the plane treated her so coldly. No wonder Maeve was so cold to her. Wait, everyone on the plane was tied up for heinous crimes. Doesn't that mean, Maeve, you're also... She can't believe it and asks, don't tell me you're also... The next second, Maeve's face darkens as she grits her teeth. Damn it, I'm also an unlucky victim who was framed, but my situation is different from yours. You're purely unlucky. I was framed due to personal grudges, mixed with some political issues. Leora's expression freezes. It even escalated to politics? Maeve nods with a cold face. My full name is Maeve Ashford. I'm from the Ashford family, a count personally appointed by Her Majesty the Queen. I was betrayed by my partner, drugged with ability-suppressing medicine, and framed with fabricated witnesses and evidence for harming my partner. Under normal procedures with my status, I should have been personally questioned by the Queen before sentencing. The rat who framed me allied with some people, so I was sent to planet Vamo without even seeing the Queen's face. Her voice carries cold anger. A dignified count was framed like this. She feels both frustrated and furious. If she can return alive, she'll definitely take revenge personally. Leora is extremely surprised. She didn't expect Maeve to have such noble status. She asks with concern, then what do you plan to do, Maeve? Do you have a way to go back? There's no way. Being thrown to planet Vamo means we've been abandoned by the Empire. If no one comes to pick us up, none of us can return. Hearing this, Leora's heart immediately sinks. Doesn't that mean we'll be stuck here until we die? Maeve hums in agreement. Without accidents, yes, but it's not absolute. We still have a glimmer of hope. I'm missing. My partners will come looking for me. I just don't know when they'll find this place. Weren't you betrayed by your partner? How can they come find you? Maeve looks at her speechlessly. I have 5 partners. 1 betrayed me, 1 was killed. I still have 3 loyal partners. Their supernatural abilities are all level 7 or 8. Their personal strength and backgrounds are excellent. Give them some time, they'll definitely find out where I am. Okay, 5 partners. She's the one who lacks experience. At least the situation isn't too bad. Leora comforts her. At least there's still hope of getting out. Maeve, your partners will definitely come rescue you. Can't believe it. Maeve actually has 5 partners. She really wants to ask how sleeping arrangements usually work, but this question is too private. Leora just hesitates, too embarrassed to ask directly. Maeve hums softly, actually only holding half the hope in her heart. She doesn't know if there are traitors among the remaining 3. Adjusting her mood, Maeve's gaze moves ambiguously between Leora and the other 2. Leora, you have the wolf scent on you. Have you already made it? Kael's words make Leora's face turn bright red. She says very awkwardly, Maeve, don't make wild guesses. Haven't done anything with Kael. It's just that my clothes got damaged. Kael licks his lips. Leif is both shocked and dejected. Maeve is amused by Leora's shy appearance. Leora, what are you embarrassed about? We're all adults. Mating is very normal. I had my first partner when I turned 18. Until now at 25, I've had 5 partners. This is still considered few in the Empire. Don't tell me you're not an adult yet. I'm an adult. I'm 22. As Maeve suspected, 22 and still no male partners. Maeve, don't tease me. This kind of thing depends on fate. You can't just find someone whenever you want. Before she finishes speaking, a vine wraps around her waist, making her look at him first. A step slower, Kyle angrily bites off Leif's vine, then extends his tongue to lick Leora's hand. Maeve smiles ambiguously and teasingly. Leora, don't mind them. All males are like this. Can't you really tell, or are you pretending not to? They both want to be your partners. You can quietly tell me which one you prefer, or if you like both. Seeing Leora still doesn't understand, Maeve says bluntly, they're fighting over you. Whoever wins gets the right to be your partner. Even if you accept both of them, they'll still fight over priority mating rights with you. Looking at the 2 figures fighting outside the cave, Leora takes a deep breath and quickly changes the subject. Maeve, how long will they keep fighting? Maeve starts yawning from tiredness. I don't know. Males have vigorous energy. Don't worry about them. Let's sleep first. I haven't slept much these past 2 days looking for you. Leora ignores the 2 fighting outside and climbs onto the stone slab to lie beside Maeve. Maeve falls asleep within 2 minutes, but Leora can't fall asleep. She simply gets up and walks to the cave entrance, calling out, I'm telling you both, if you keep fighting, I won't care about either of you anymore. Almost as soon as she finishes speaking, both stop and walk toward her together. Leora thinks they've listened and heads back into the cave, letting both men enter. Do you want to sleep now, or get some treatment? I'm not tired yet. Leif excitedly writes with his vine tip on the ground. Treatment. Kael does the same. Then you both lean here. She wants to try treating 2 people simultaneously. Holding a wolf paw and a green vine, Leora sits cross-legged on the stone slab and begins channeling her power. She already checked Kael during the day. No need for much observation, just steady output. She focuses more on Leif's side. As her mental power penetrates deeper, Leora senses that Leif's mental realm is broader than Kael's, and the black virus inside isn't as dense as Kael's. Leif's mental power surpasses Kael's. Shortly after Leora's mental power probes in, a mass of mental energy dotted with green light envelops her. Leah, is that you? The voice appears directly in her mind. Leora freezes. It's Leif's voice. Leah, your mental power is so strong. Leif can't help but marvel. His mental power level even surpasses the Queen's by a margin. Throughout the entire empire, hardly anyone can match him. Yet Leah's mental power is even more vast than his. Leora doesn't know how to communicate with him through thoughts, and her anxiety makes her mental flow unstable. Leif immediately notices her change. Leah, you want to talk to me but don't know how, right? Don't worry, I'll teach you. Next, Leif patiently teaches Leora how to use mental power. When it comes to mental power application, Leif dares say few in the Empire surpass him. Once a prodigy of heaven, if not for being infected by the virus and unable to receive even half a trace of comfort, delayed on planet Vamo for decades, who could imagine what heights he might have reached? Through the night, the virus in Leif's mental realm has been cleared to less than 1/10. When the first ray of morning sunlight streams in, both Leora and Leif open their eyes simultaneously. Leif still cannot return to his original form, but he can speak now, Leah. Thank you. Leora withdraws her aching hands. You're welcome. I should thank you too, you taught me so many things. Mental power is far more formidable than she thought. She's not without self-protection ability. She just didn't know how to use it. The sound of their conversation makes Kyle's eyes snap open, his gaze sharp and suspicious as he looks toward Leif. Seeing him awake, Leora greets him. Kyle, morning. Leif also deliberately greets him. You're awake. This single sentence makes Kyle's eyes widen, his incredulous gaze fixed on him. How can he speak now? Noticing his surprise, Leora explains with a smile. Kyle, Leif's mental power is stronger than yours, and his condition isn't as severe as yours. One more treatment should completely purify him. You'll probably need several more purification sessions. Leora's words leave Kyle even more stunned. Did he hear wrong? Speaking after just one night? Kyle absolutely cannot accept this. From childhood to adulthood, Kyle has always worn the halo of genius. If not for his strength being too exceptional, making it impossible to match with a suitable female, he wouldn't have fallen to this state. Now he's told that just anyone's mental power exceeds his. You're all awake. Maeve wakes up from the talking, yawning as she sits up. Leora immediately shares the good news. Maeve, Leif can speak now. Leif smiles and greets her. Good morning, Maeve. My god, Leora actually possesses the ability to heal the abandoned. If this news gets back to the Empire, the entire Empire will go crazy. Leora, you must be a messenger sent by the Beast God to save the Empire, right? Maeve's eyes shine with golden light, looking at her like she's viewing some priceless treasure. If we can return to Victoria, I'll definitely petition the Queen to grant you a noble title. You deserve this honor. Being exiled to Vamo, the only fortunate thing was becoming friends with Leora. Well, Maeve, it's too early to talk about this. Let's discuss it when we leave Vamo. I'm a bit hungry after working all night. Maeve loves stirring up drama and suggests ambiguously, why don't the three of you go together? Catch more prey so we don't have to go out again today. Leora remembers what Maeve told her last night. Apparently, these two have ulterior motives toward her. So why should she go? How about this? Leif and Kyle, you two go. I won't go. I'll stay and keep Maeve company. Leora urges them both out of the cave. Seeing Leora won't go with them, Leif angrily glares at Kyle, then heads alone toward the forest, thinking he must hunt quickly to become Leah's first mate. The two tacitly compete to see who can finish hunting and return first. Watching the two leave, Maeve clicks her tongue regretfully. Why didn't you go again? Leora looks at her irritably, knowing they both have other intentions toward me. Why would I go out with them? Leora asks puzzledly. You're obviously much prettier than me. There's no reason they wouldn't like you. Maeve laughs. Want to know why? Leora nods. Maeve explains matter-of-factly. Because you don't have any male scent on you, while I carry my mate's scent. For people like us, the most important thing in attracting the opposite sex is scent. Your scent is much cleaner than mine, naturally making you more attractive to males. I see. Leora understands now, realizing that romance in the beast world must incorporate animal world perspectives. So, they're pursuing me just because my scent is clean, and attracts them, not because they like me as a person. Thinking of this possibility makes Leora's heart feel stuffy. Maeve looks somewhat confused. Isn't liking your scent the same as liking you as a person? Leora, don't overthink it. Males choose their mates by scent, and we females do too. Males can only have one female mate. Maeve's tone shifts, of course. The most pitiful are males without any mates. They're lucky just to be alive. Leora sighs softly. Yes? They definitely won't live long because they'll all be consumed by the virus. As the two chat, Leif and Kyle return, arriving at the cave almost simultaneously, each viewing the other unfavorably. Leah, I'm back. I caught 2 wild chickens. Now able to speak, Leif immediately shows her the chickens. Kyle beside him, though unable to speak, lightly tosses his head, and 2 unidentifiable prey land at Leora's feet. Looking at all the prey piled in front of her, Leora's eye twitches slightly as she gives a shallow compliment. You're both amazing. Now let's go to the river. You must be starved, Leah. I'll take you there right away. Leif wants her to sit on his treetop. Kyle bites Leora's sleeve and pulls her out of the cave, lowering his body for her to climb on. The two look at each other and unanimously choose to go elsewhere for a fight. More fierce than last night, both fighting to kill. Leora feels her brain throbbing. Maeve, are all males like this? You have 5 mates. Do your mates fight too? Maeve nods as if accustomed. Of course they fight. Especially at bedtime, they fight even more fiercely. Leora finds it hard to believe. Why not take turns? Maeve replies. They do take turns, but 5 people in one night is quite exhausting. Leora is speechless. Leora's stomach growls with hunger. She walks a few steps toward the fighting direction and shouts angrily at them. Are you done fighting? We're starving here. Keep this up and it'll be dark. At her words, both immediately stop. Leif immediately runs over, apologizing. Sorry, Leah. You must be starved. I'll take you to roast meat right away. Leora coldly corrects him. Please call me by my name, Leora. Also, it's not taking me. It's taking me and Maeve. Kale also approaches. Leora directly states, Kale, you're injured and covered in blood. It's not appropriate to carry anyone. You should travel alone. Without waiting for their reaction, she and Maeve directly climb onto Leif's vine. Moving quickly, they reach the riverside in about 5 minutes. Maeve is truly starved. Upon arrival, she hurriedly washes the ingredients, then crouches by the river with Leora to gut the chickens. After skewering the raw meat and setting it over the fire, Leora finds a random stone to sit on, occasionally turning the roasted meat for even heating. Leif silently serves as a backrest behind her. Kyle lies directly down, his head resting against Leora's calf. Just as Leora is about to ask Kyle to move, she looks down and meets a pair of deep eyes. The silver wolf lightly licks the back of her hand, then pitifully licks his injured front paw. Only then does Leora clearly see a finger-thick wound on the wolf's paw, still seeping blood. Feeling both angry and sympathetic, she channels her power to heal him. Serves you right for fighting. Look at you, covered in wounds. And Leif, you too. What grudge, what hatred, meeting and immediately fighting. She scolds both while healing Kyle. Seeing Kyle's blissful expression, Leif grows so jealous that thorns sprout on his vines. Shameless wolf. Leif also wants to learn his pitiful act in front of Leora. Unfortunately, being a plant, he can't pull off Kyle's shameless tactics. Is the roasted meat ready? Leora turns the meat. Leif, I remember you mentioned knowing where to find salt. Yes, not too far from here. We can leave in the morning and return by evening. Kale knows which place the plant refers to. Unable to speak, he has to let the plant show off again. Hearing this, Leora immediately feels relieved. That's great! Let's go find salt first thing tomorrow morning. Without seasoning, I really can't eat anymore. Maeve expresses the same sentiment. The roasted meat is almost ready. Leora removes the skewered meat from the branches. Without prompting, Kyle proactively comes over to cool the meat. Maeve beside them still can't eat hers because it's too hot. Seeing the scene, she can't help feeling a bit envious. She begins missing her mates. If they were here, they definitely wouldn't let her do these things. Noticing Maeve's mood, Leora plops down beside her. Maeve, who do you have at home? I've only heard you mention mates, never family. Maeve's expression turns distant. My family is quite large, except for my eldest brother. The others are all half-siblings with different fathers. Maeve suddenly stops mid-sentence, then gets excited, gripping Leora's hand like grasping hope. Leora, you can heal the abandoned? Please do me a favor? The two beside them also prick up their ears. My eldest brother is my full brother, same father and mother. He's decades older than me. I haven't seen him since I was very young because he became one of the abandoned and was sent to Vamo. Leora, if we encounter my brother here, please help him. Leora thought it was something major and readily agrees. No problem. If I meet him, I'll definitely help. But Maeve, would you still recognize your brother now? Maeve is uncertain. I don't know either. Hearing this, Leora can't help asking strangely, aren't you nobles? How could you not find mates? I'm not clear on the details. I heard from my mother that my brother was very powerful back then, and Her Majesty wanted to take him as a husband, but the queen already had over 20 husbands at the time. My brother's pride was strong, so he politely declined the queen. Brother didn't want to settle for just any female, so he kept delaying until his mental power collapsed and he was sent to Vamo. It's been over 20 years now. When I turned 18, my mother required me to move out. She had too many children. And despite being her only daughter, she didn't give me much motherly love. I don't know what meaning such family has. Swallowing the meat in her mouth, Maeve asks, what about you, Leora? Who do you have at home? You've been missing so long. Your family must be worried sick. Leora laughs softly. I don't have parents. I'm an orphan who grew up in an orphanage, always living alone. Maeve is shocked, as are the other two. An orphan? Maeve's first reaction is disbelief. You're female. How could anyone dare abandon you? Leora doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. I've said before, I didn't grow up on this continent. Where I grew up, females aren't rare. Abandoned kids are everywhere. It's not unusual. As a child, she resented why they treated her this way, but later she made peace with it. A person can live quite freely alone too. It wasn't until accepting the inheritance a few days ago that she vaguely felt she might not have been abandoned, but rather something unexpected happened. Otherwise, how to explain growing up on Earth? While Leora reflects on this, the three listening are too shocked to speak. Leif and Kyle feel only heartache, unable to imagine what kind of life Leora had as a child. Leif approaches with heartache, his vine hooking Leora's shoulder. Leah, you have me from now on. I'll definitely give you a more prosperous life than others, and me. Kale also runs over, encircling her calf with his wolf tail. Maeve feels uncomfortable inside, and puts her arm around Leora's shoulder. Leah, if you don't mind, consider me your sister. When we return to the Empire, I'll protect you. No one will dare bully you. Leora can't help feeling touched. She's never had many friends, but Maeve will be her friend from now on. After eating, Maeve quietly asks Leora, "Want to take a bath?" "Yes, I feel like there are fleas in the cave. I'm a bit itchy." Once mentioned, Maeve can't stand it either. She directly asks Leif, "Leif, can you help us tonight? Leora and I want to wash in the river. Can you help guard us?" "No problem. You can wash with peace of mind. I guarantee no one will dare disturb you." Leif nods. Leora expresses great uncertainty. "Let's forget it. The weather's been a bit cold these past 2 days. Let's wait a couple days." Maeve doesn't force her. "Fine, you can wash in a couple days, but I can't stand it. Keep me company tonight?" "No problem." Leora agrees. Leif and Kyle seem to have no reaction, but they're actually listening to the two's conversation. By the time they return to the cave, it's almost noon. Let's not waste time. "Leif, you still need a little more. I'll try to help you purify completely this afternoon." With nothing to do, Maeve offers, "I'll keep watch at the cave entrance for you." "Good, we'll go in first then. Stay nearby and don't wander far." After instructing Maeve, Leora enters the cave with Leif. Just like last night, treating both together. Speed unchanged, but results doubled. The virus in Leif's body is down to less than 1/10. Working together, they quickly purify the remaining toxins completely. "Leah, I think I can return to human form." "Really?" Leora's mental power withdraws from his body, opening her eyes while simultaneously cutting off power transmission to Kyle. Both look toward the tree glowing green. Unfortunately, Maeve isn't here to witness this exciting moment. The tree trunk suddenly bursts with intense light. Leora rubs her eyes. When she can see clearly again, the over 2-meter tree is gone, replaced by a completely naked man. The man has waist-length dark green hair, stands about 6'3", with gentle and profound features like a noble young master stepping out of an ancient painting. Oh my god, he's incredibly handsome. Her gaze involuntarily moves downward. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, well-proportioned muscles. Meeting Leif's knowing smile, Leora finally reacts, hastily covering her eyes as her face turns red. "Leah, I've really recovered." Leif is overjoyed beyond measure. "Thank you." He gives Leora an excited yet careful embrace. Finally holding her, her body is so soft, she smells so wonderful. "Let go of me, Leif. You're not wearing clothes." Leora doesn't know where to put her hands and feet. "Put on clothes first." Kyle, originally still in shock and hidden envy, sees Leif getting handsy with Leora the next second. How can he tolerate this? "Howl! Let her go!" With his roar, a heavy, sharp wolf claw swipes toward Leif's back. Leif, holding Leora, dodges but doesn't completely avoid it. Grazing the wolf's claw, his back gets scratched with a bloody mark. Leora's face burns red. "Leif, let me go!" Kale emanates cold air nearby. If not for fear of hurting Leora, he'd definitely add another claw strike. "Leif, can you put on clothes before talking to me? If you don't have clothes, just transform back into a tree." "What does this look like?" "Leah, are you embarrassed?" Leora directly runs out of the cave. Seeing this, Kyle leisurely strides out too. When Leif emerges from the cave 5 minutes later, Leora hears movement and glances back. Leif has fashioned some large leaves, stringing them together with vines around his waist. Though his upper body remains bare, it's acceptable now. This outfit looks somewhat like a forest elf, distinctly handsome. "Hey, where did Maeve go?" Leora looks around for a while before realizing someone's missing. Kale points in a direction. Leif speaks for him. "Don't worry, Maeve is right over there." Indeed, shortly after speaking, Maeve emerges from behind a tree. Seeing 3 pairs of eyes watching her direction, Maeve freezes. Who is this strange man? After a few seconds pause, she reacts, running over in surprise to examine Leif. "Leif, is that you?" Leif nods. "It's me. I've recovered." Though mentally prepared, witnessing it firsthand still feels shocking and incredible. Leora actually possesses such heaven-defying ability. Surely she must be the beast god personally descending to save her people. With Leif recovered in human form, Kael grows more anxious. Can't waste any more time. The mighty silver wolf pitifully nuzzles the female's palm. Don't forget about him. Leora seems to understand his meaning and says after a moment's silence, "I know you want to recover quickly too. Don't worry, I'll help you right now." Excellent. Kael's joy is obvious. Leora faces Maeve and Leif. "I'm going to help Kale purify now. Call me when it's dinner time." Maeve, seeing she wants to continue, asks with concern, "Can you still handle it? From last night until now, except for eating and brief rest, you've been treating them constantly. Can your body take it?" Warmth fills Leora's heart. "Don't worry. If I get tired, I'll rest." Leif hesitates to speak but ultimately stays silent. Better that fewer people know about Leah's extremely high mental power. As the sun sets and twilight approaches, Leif calls everyone. It's getting late. "Leah, are you hungry?" Leora stretches her stiff arms. "I am a bit hungry. Let's have roasted fish tonight." Leif has no objections and says indulgently, "All right, roasted fish it is." Leif transforms back into a plant to transport them to the riverside. Upon reaching their destination, he returns to human form and goes into the river to catch fish. Maeve collects branches for the fire while Kyle immediately goes to patrol their territory. Before Kyle returns from patrol, Leif has already caught the fish. As Leora moves to collect and process them, Leif quickly picks up all 3 fish first. "Leah, let me handle this. This is what males should do. As long as I'm here, you'll never have to do these things again." He looks at her seriously. This is what every qualified mate should do. Under Leaf's earnest and persistent gaze, Leora uncontrollably blushes. We're not in a mate relationship now. How can I feel comfortable always letting you work? Looking at blushing Leora, Leaf's heart stirs uncontrollably as he says meaningfully, just not now. Leah, I liked you from first sight. I want to court you. Will you accept me? His gaze is too intense, making her awkwardly look away, her heart in complete chaos. As Leora struggles with indecision, suddenly warmth touches her forehead. She instantly widens her eyes. Leif only lightly kissed once, immediately pulling away. I'll process these quickly. He heads to the riverside to handle the fish. Oh my, kissing already? Maeve's ambiguous voice sounds nearby. Maeve thinks Leora is still too young and naive. If it were her, she'd have won Leif over long ago. Leah, don't worry about that. Come here with me. Leora gets pulled away by Maeve to talk privately. Leora understands her intention. Maeve, I don't know what to do anymore. Maeve's advice remains simple and direct. You'll need to find a mate eventually. Why not try with Leif? If you have feelings, be together and try. If it really doesn't work out, then be completely honest about it. Maeve directly asks, don't you have any feelings for Leif? Leora hesitates. It's not that I don't. I think he's pretty good. Then that's settled. Since you have feelings, what are you hesitating about? It's only because no one's competing with you here. In the Empire, someone like Leif would be very sought after. He has strong feelings for you now. Why not seize the opportunity? During their private conversation, Leif has cleaned all 3 fish and is now skewering them on branches. Leora looks surprised. You finished so quickly? Wait a little longer. Once they're cooked, we can eat. At this time, Kyle returns from patrolling, carrying some wild fruits in his mouth from who knows where. While distributing fruits to them, Leora smells a faint bloody scent from the wolf and guesses. Kyle, are you full? Full. The silver wolf nuzzles her hand with his nose tip. Leora also smoothly pets the wolf's head, quite soft fur. Several people gather around the fire pit, quietly listening to the burning sounds. After finishing the roasted fish, the moon climbs up too. Maeve mentioned wanting to bathe during the day, so half an hour after eating, the riverside clears out. Leif and Kyle very consciously distance themselves about 500 meters from the river. After Maeve finishes scrubbing her arms, seeing Leora dazing, she invites her to come in together. Leah, Leif, and the others are far away. What else are you worried about? Come wash with me. I'm coming. I also want to wash these clothes. Leora really can't stand these dirty clothes anymore. But once I wash my body clean, I'll have nothing to wear after washing the clothes. Suddenly, she thinks of something. Leah, why don't you ask Leif for some leaves? We can also string them together with vines to make long dress styles. Should last until the clothes dry. After a few seconds consideration, Leora decides to follow Maeve's suggestion. Leif, can you give us some large leaves? Maeve and I want to wash clothes and need leaf dresses to cover up temporarily. This is certainly no problem. Soon, an emerald petal dress is born in Leif's hands. Watching Kyle is shocked. Catalyzing plant growth with wood-type powers is effortless, but manifesting powers so delicately isn't something just anyone can do. Only now does Kyle realize Leah spoke truth. Leif's mental power is indeed high, at least higher than his own. 10 minutes later, Leora returns to the riverside with 2 dresses, hangs them on low tree branches, then enters the water to bathe. Meanwhile, Leif plans to talk with the wolf. Kyle, let's talk. Talk about what? The silver wolf eyes him warily. Leif gets straight to the point. Let's share Leah together. Kyle is directly shocked. What madness is he spouting? Leif continues expressing his thoughts. You reaching level 9 isn't too bad. You're qualified to be my brother. Leah definitely won't have just one mate. Rather than letting others take advantage later, we should join forces. Kyle actually understands clearly in his heart. After seeing Leif's strength, he knew exclusive possession was impossible. Returning to the cave, they hang wet clothes on rocks outside, and Leora directly lies on the stone slab inside with Maeve. Leif transforms back into a tree, while the wolf lies not far from the tree. Both quietly listen to sounds from inside. Leora doesn't know how she fell asleep. The dress doesn't provide warmth, so sleeping until midnight, her body shivers uncontrollably from cold, instinctively seeking heat sources. She dreams of finding a furry blanket. Really warm, can't help wrapping it tightly around herself. But somehow this blanket seems poor quality. The fur against her skin feels somewhat itchy. Then she wakes up. Her face shows an unnatural flush, and her head feels dizzy. The cave only has her and Maeve. Why is it so hot? What's this situation? Leora has no clue. While wondering whether to go outside, the 2 outside aren't comfortable either. They came in wanting to sleep closer to Leora, but Leah's body is too thin. Kyle jumps directly onto the stone slab, using his body to warm her. Suddenly, Kyle moves his nose. He smells an unusual scent coming from Leora. Leif smells it too. The 2 look at each other, both knowing what's happening. They both look toward the cave entrance, making eye contact with Leora, who's sneaking out like she's going to the bathroom. Why aren't you both sleeping? Not sleepy. Leah, why did you come out? Going to the bathroom, maybe I drank too much water tonight. Under their gaze, Leora practically flees. Leora's heart remains half suspended. Finally finishing, she stands up without noticing a dark shadow beside her. Next second, she hears a familiar voice. Leah, it's me. Immediately after, from another direction, Leora turns to see Kyle with a snake in his mouth. Leora asks with lingering fear, why did you both come over? Leif says, Leah, you went too far, it's dangerous. Next time we'll accompany you together. You can't risk your safety. Though Kyle cannot speak, he stands beside Leif this time to show his position. When did they form a united front? Leora wonders but still says, I understand. I promise it won't happen again next time. The three return to the cave. Leora tiptoes back to the stone slab and stares wide-eyed until dawn. Maeve sleeps well through the night until naturally waking. Rolling over and seeing Leora's dark circles, she asks in amazement, Leah, did you not sleep all night? Maeve, I couldn't sleep. It's not because of Leif and Kyle, is it? Maeve asks with mixed emotions. Leora admits, it is because of them. Maeve can't understand her thinking, Leora, you're the strangest young female I've ever met. What's there to agonize over? Leora, after all, isn't a native female. Her thoughts are still influenced by Earth civilization. She asks Maeve irritably, if it were you, having some feelings for one or multiple males but not rising to the level of love, what would you do? Maeve answers without hesitation, I'd honestly face my heart. Since I have feelings for a male, it means certain traits of his attract me. Next, I'd make further contact. If I'm not repulsed and feel happy during interaction, I'd consider developing an intimate relationship. Of course, the prerequisite is that this male must be pursuing me. After listening, Leora looks thoughtful, I understand, but I have a question. Even sharing a mate with other males, they'd be willing? Maeve laughs. If a male actively pursues a female, that proves he's willing. We females cannot have just one mate. Leora jumps down from the stone slab, stretches, and touches her somewhat dry face. If only we had skincare products here. The wind these past days has dried out my skin. Maeve immediately touches her own face. Has my skin gotten worse too? Leora quickly comforts, it's fine, you're only in your 20s. Your skin can't be too bad regardless. Alright, we agreed yesterday to look for salt today. Let's eat breakfast quickly, and leave early so we're not delayed returning tonight. Maeve hums agreement. The two exit the cave, surprised to find a patch of wild grass in front cleared away. Leif is placing firewood. Seeing them emerge, he smiles. Maeve, just waiting for you to start the fire. Maeve teases, ready so early you didn't sleep either? Leif just smiles, then turns his gaze to Leora. Leah, I think I heard you discussing skin issues. I have a way to help you maintain it. Really? Leif, what method do you have? Leif explains. Maeve, you should know that some skincare products sold commercially use plant extracts as ingredients. I'm also a plant, so I can extract some things myself, sufficient for skincare. Leora seems to understand why his skin is so good. When can you extract it? Does it hurt your body? Maeve asks eagerly. Leif shakes his head. Won't hurt my body, but take some time. Let's prepare after getting the salt. After eating and drinking their fill according to plan, everyone prepares to depart. Same as always, Leif transforms into a tree carrying the two females. Leif moves very fast. Surrounding scenery flashes by, leaving the dense forest. Outside stretches vast yellow sandy soil. While traveling, suddenly a wolf howl faintly carries over. Kyle's wolf body pauses, appearing somewhat agitated, using his wolf claw to write on the ground. Wait here for me. I'll be right back. Leif frowns. What are you doing? Do you have connections with the wolf pack ahead? Kyle nods. That's my pack. Let me see what happened. After speaking, he glances at Leora on the treetop, then turns and runs off. While running, his body grows larger and larger, finally stopping at over 10 feet tall. Then a howl different from the pack's cold, sharp cry resonates in the sky, leaving two people in one tree looking at each other. Maeve exclaims in surprise. Kyle says the pack ahead is his. So he's the alpha? And was that just now his true beast form? It's huge! Leif also finds the wolf's actions somewhat unexpected. That's Kyle's true beast form. Wolves are naturally medium-large species. A level 9 feet's beast form should exceed 10 feet. As soon as he finishes speaking, Maeve's volume spikes. Level 9? You're saying Kyle is level 9? Level 9, what does that mean? In the entire Empire's population of over 1 billion, the number of level 9 beastmen barely exceeds 1,000. Leif understands Maeve's shock, his tone flat. Otherwise, what do you think allows him to maintain rationality even as one of the abandoned? Listening, Leora asks curiously. From what you're saying, is level 9 very strong? Maeve nods heavily with a complex expression. Powers are divided into 10 levels total. Level 10 power users only exist in legends. No one in reality can reach that level. Level 9 is already the highest achievable level. In the entire Empire, there are at most a few hundred level 9 seconds. Kyle is excellent. If you like him, you should definitely seize the opportunity. Just as Leora is about to ask something, suddenly massive commotion erupts ahead. Leora asks in alarm. Leif, what's happening up there? Will Kyle be in danger? Leif puts the two down and transforms back to human form, looking ahead seriously. Hard to say. Wolves have the strongest cohesion among all species. Kyle says the pack ahead is his. Most likely he's their alpha, but he's been with us these past days. If I'm not mistaken, either the pack encountered a strong enemy or there's internal rebellion. Let's wait patiently. If Kyle can't handle it, we'll have to run. He won't bring Leora into any danger. Leif guessed correctly. Kyle was originally attracted by Leora's scent and suddenly left his pack. Who knew Leora would be so wonderful that he'd want to stay in the cave forever, especially knowing he could recover? He completely forgot about his pack. This pack wasn't particularly virtuous to begin with. Only under Kyle's leadership did they unite. However, when the alpha disappeared a few days ago, the pack initially showed no unusual behavior, but after several days, some unrest appeared within. Unluckily, another wolf pack appeared near their territory. That alpha, discovering their pack was leaderless, decided to absorb and conquer them. The situation immediately became chaotic. Fortunately, at this critical moment, Kyle returned. All his loyal subordinates burst into excited cheers. They knew their alpha wouldn't die and would definitely return. Kyle surveys the current situation and immediately locks onto the other pack's alpha. Kyle strikes swiftly and brutally. Crackling wind spheres rain down on the opposing alpha. The previously arrogant alpha is already sliced to pieces by sharp blades. Kyle steps on that alpha's skull, his eyes cold and disdainful. Under this imposing pressure, all wolves lower their heads and prostrate themselves, submitting to their new alpha. Satisfied, Kyle shakes his wolf head, howls once at the pack, then leaves again. Leah and the others must be getting anxious. Better return to report safety first, then come arrange these subordinates. The alpha leaves again. The wolf subordinates look at each other, none dare follow. The newly conquered pack, to show their loyalty, makes a decision. A surprise Kyle absolutely wouldn't expect. Kyle returns to Leora's side. Kyle, thank goodness you're safe. What happened up there? Leora walks a few steps toward the wolf. Nothing serious, problem solved. Want to see my wolf pack? Leif disagrees. Kyle, your pack are all abandoned. Taking Leah and Maeve there would be dangerous. Kyle shakes his wolf head lightly. Won't happen. Trust me, he has this confidence. Let's find Salt first. We can discuss other things when we return. Fine, let's listen to Leah. Leif has no objections, nor does Kyle. Sooner or later doesn't matter much. Time has passed noon. What should be sunny weather gradually turns overcast, and light rain begins falling. Hold tight, we're almost there. I'll speed up a bit. After over 10 minutes of downpour, they finally see a cave. They rush toward the cave. Heavy rain pours outside while everyone inside is soaked like drowned rats. Kyle distances himself from the others, shaking water droplets from his fur. Leif keeps busy. First thing after setting the two down is using his power to make dresses so Leora and Maeve can change out of their wet clothes. When receiving dry new dresses, both venture boldly deeper into the cave, quickly changing into dry clothes. Only then do their freezing bodies get some relief. But they're still very cold. Leora wrings out her wet hair and emerges to see Leif catalyzing wood for Maeve to start a fire. When the fire lights up, Leora finally feels alive again. 3 people and 1 wolf gather around the fire pit, warming their bodies. Leif sits beside Leora, holding her hair near the fire to help dry it. Leora's icy body pains Leif's heart. After drying her hair, he tightly grips her small hands, providing warmth. But being a plant, his body temperature is naturally low. Even when warm, there's a limit. He can't help looking toward the wolf currently drying his fur. Kyle, is your fur dry? Come help warm Leah. Coming. Kyle shakes the fur on his body, walks to Leora's side and crouches, front legs supporting the ground, using his eyes to signal Leora to sit in his embrace. Maeve, are you also very cold? Maeve stands up. I'm fine. This dress isn't warm. I'll rely on my own fur instead. She heads deeper into the cave. Leora doesn't understand. Leif explains. Maeve is going to transform into beast form for warmth. Leah, since you can't transform, don't be stubborn. Let Kale help warm you. Leif directly lifts her horizontally and tucks her into the wolf's embrace. Wolf claws press down on her struggling body while his tongue gently brushes her cheek. Leora inexplicably feels cherished, her face reddening like a ripe apple. Her body against the warm fur is indeed very warming. She mutters embarrassedly. How awkward if Maeve sees this. Her voice couldn't be lower, but both beasts hear clearly. Kale's heart secretly fills with joy. Does Leah seem to be accepting them? Leif also catches on, his dark green eyes sparkling as he stares at her eyes. At this moment, Maeve emerges from inside the cave in beast form, a beautiful golden lioness. Leora exclaims in admiration, Maeve, your beast form is gorgeous. Thank you. Maeve happily accepts the compliment, stepping forward like a noble lion queen. Maeve suddenly thinks of something strange. This cave is very deep. When I went inside to transform just now, I walked several extra steps and went about 30 feet without reaching the end. It was too dark inside, I didn't dare continue. There shouldn't be any danger here, right? Both become slightly alert upon hearing this. Leif says, I don't smell any dangerous scents, but for safety's sake, I'll go inside and check now. Everyone waits about half an hour before Leif returns, dripping with rainwater and carrying 2 wild rabbits. Leif, why are you soaked like this? Leora asks in surprise. I walked about 300 feet inside and discovered the cave isn't enclosed. There's another exit right on the other side of the rock wall. I saw 2 rabbits sheltering from rain at that entrance and caught them. Looking at this rain, who knows when it'll stop. We might have to spend the night here, so let's fill our stomachs first. I see, as long as there's no danger, that's good. Maeve's heart settles down. Finally, the roasted meat is ready. Smelling the fragrant aroma, rumbling sounds come from Kyle's belly. Leif looks at him. These 2 are for Maeve and Leah. If you're hungry, go hunt yourself. Looking at the non-stop rain outside, Leora can't bear making Kyle hunt in the rain. Leah, it's just rain. Besides, only 2 rabbits. Even if he ate them all, it would barely fill gaps between his teeth. Nowhere near enough to maintain his energy consumption. Alright, thinking of Kyle's 10-foot beast form, eating such small portions really isn't enough. Then Kyle, be careful. Kyle shakes his head, indicating he's received her sentiment and feels quite pleased. The silver wolf shakes his fur. Then a faint blue aura envelops his body before he charges into the rain. Leora asks Leif, you gave the roasted meat to us. What will you eat? I'm a plant. My food is energy from the air. Besides, I don't need much food, so I generally don't eat much. Maeve asks curiously. Leaf? I don't know much about plants. What kind of plant are you? Hearing this, Leora also looks at him curiously. Strangely, Leif falls silent for a moment. Facing their eager gazes, he hesitates briefly and vaguely says, Iron tree, I suppose. Iron tree? Both Leora and Maeve exclaim simultaneously, the former purely surprised. Maeve's mind rapidly flashes with something, but she can't grasp it. She feels like she's heard of it somewhere but can't remember specifically. Seeing no particular reaction from them, Leif slightly relaxes. Don't just talk, eat quickly. Today's a bit cold, so eating while hot is good for your health. Leif attempts to change the subject. After they finish eating, the well-fed Kyle also returns. Predictably, he's completely soaked, with a plump wild chicken in his mouth saved for their next meal. At bedtime, for warmth, Maeve transforms back to beast form. Leora lies in the middle, Maeve on her left, Kale on her right, then Leif. The cave plunges into complete darkness. Sleeping Leora dreams of arriving at Flaming Mountain. She's awakened by heat. The instant she opens her eyes, she feels feverish all over. She pushes Kyle away and sits up, gasping heavily in apparent discomfort. Kyle's eyes glow in the darkness, watching her intently. Leif somehow appears beside Leora, his expression worried yet tinged with something else. Leif, find me some water, please. I'm so thirsty. I'll get you water right away. Leif hurries outside. Leora changes her mind. Wait, I'll come out with you to drink water. It's too hot in here, I can barely breathe. Leif's Adam's apple bobs. All right, Leah, let's go out for fresh air. Kyle follows closely behind. Leif carries Leora out of the cave. Upon touching the cool air, Leora feels her mind clear somewhat, but it's only momentary. The burning sensation inside intensifies instead. For some reason, tonight Leif's scent is particularly attractive, making her restless. She wants to kiss him. Leora is startled by her own thoughts, her face burning hot. Leif places Leora on a rock. In the darkness, they look into each other's eyes. Kyle has been following them, but now stays unusually distant. Leif looks at her with indescribable heat in his gaze. Even his breathing carries different scents. Leah? You're in heat. Is it what she thinks it means? Then what should I do? Leif gently cups Leora's face pleadingly. Leah, let me help you, okay? There's no medication to suppress it here. Enduring it forcibly will harm your body and attract others. Let me help you, okay? I truly love you. With Leora's rationality already on the brink, Leif's seductive words completely snap her taut string, leaving only, not outside. As you wish, my lady. Leif trembles with excitement. Behind them, Kyle's eyes burn red with stimulation. In beast form, he'd hurt Leora. He can only watch helplessly. At this moment, Kyle is like an irrelevant spectator, gazing intensely at the fierce competition within. Leora hasn't truly lost rationality, half conscious, half indulgent. She just wants this special moment to end quickly. From this moment, her relationship with them truly changes. It doesn't seem as hard to accept as she imagined. After who knows how long, Leif gently kisses Leora's forehead. Meanwhile, the guardian Kyle has somehow approached. Kyle, you can't do this like that. Leif doesn't want Leora hurt. Kyle stares coldly at him, his attitude firm. This time means something different. He also wants to become Leah's mate. Fine, but be careful. Ultimately, Leif yields. Leora feels her face is licked. She half opens her hazy eyes and sees a familiar wolf head, not reacting immediately. Leora shyly covers her face. They both got their way after all. The night remains long. The three completely fail to notice someone watching them. In the pitch-black cave, a frail white flower suddenly gets knocked down by something, flying toward Leif and Kyle. Both of them black out and collapse to the ground. The massive dark shadow takes advantage of this opportunity to abduct Leora. Tonight is a night full of surprises for Seraphis. He originally intended to bite to death all who trespassed on his territory, but the scent emanating from the woman captivated him. He hid in the darkness, greedily watching, until he couldn't bear it any longer and attacked those two men. After an unknown amount of time, Leora slowly opens her eyes and meets a pair of red eyes. Leora's face turns pale instantly, and she instinctively struggles and fights back with all her strength. Don't be afraid, Seraphis makes a halting sound. Although it's incredible it actually happens, he can speak after this brief contact with Leora. Stay away from me. Leora herself is afraid of snakes, but this situation makes her forget her fear and only want to vent the grievance in her heart. Seraphis feels that communication is impossible like this, and instantly transforms into a giant python over 5 meters long and as thick as a water barrel. Leora stops moving and stares at the giant python before her with terror. Seeing the woman finally calm down, Seraphis attempts to communicate. I'm sorry, will you be my mate? Leora says. Send me back quickly or I'll jump off from here. The human and the snake stare at each other like this. Seraphis remains silent for a long time before saying, if you agree to be my mate, I'll send you back. Leora grits her teeth in her heart. Send me back and I'll see how you perform. How can Seraphis not see that this is the woman's excuse? She has no place for him in her heart and only wants him to die quickly. A murderous intent slowly emerges in Seraphis's eyes. You're lying. You definitely won't accept me. You're just deceiving me to send you back. His voice is still gentle, but with a hint of madness and gloom. I won't let you go. We'll be together forever, until the moment of death. Leora's terror overflows. No, I agree. I agree to be your mate. Seraphis, my name. What's yours? Leora. Leora sobs as she speaks. My name is Leora. I agree to be your mate, but you can't force me in the future. I have 2 other mates. Can you get along peacefully with them? Seraphis indicates this isn't a problem, but however you treat those 2 men, you must treat me the same way. You can't neglect me. When you're intimate with them, I must have my share too. Leora considers and agrees. Can you send me back now? Seraphis nods very readily. Of course, darling. Just as Leora is about to ask how they'll get back, a pair of wings actually unfold from the snake's back. Seraphis is actually a winged snake. Leora is carried flying through the sky. On the other side, with Leora missing for 2 days, Leif and Kyle are going crazy searching for her. Kyle follows the scent and just steps onto this hilltop when he sees Seraphis flying in the sky. The 3-meter-tall Kyle roars angrily, "Let go of my mate!" The deep, magnetic voice startles Leora. Kyle can speak now. Leah, are you injured? Leif's worried voice. He sees Leora wrapped in the snake's tail and is relieved she's returned safely. Seraphis lands and shamelessly announces, Leora has already agreed to be my mate. I hope you can accept this result. Kyle's gaze full of killing intent sweeps toward Seraphis. You forced Leora, didn't you? If you're a real man, fight fair and square. Does sneaking around behind make you worthy of being a man? Leif is also completely enraged, and battle is about to break out. Facing the killing intent of both men, Seraphis puts down Leora, returns to the air to steady himself, then dives down, spewing black flames from his mouth. Both men are shocked. Dark type. It's actually dark type power. Are you from the royal family? Leif and Kyle exchange glances. Among the royal outcasts, there has been only one in nearly 100 years. They know who the person before them is. Under the combined effort of Kyle and Leif, Seraphis retreats steadily. Seraphis looks toward the woman with dejection. Leora, will you really watch them kill me? Do you still remember your promise to me? Leif worries about hearing an answer he doesn't want to hear and only wants to kill the man before the woman makes a decision. Seraphis, fighting 1 against 2, is already physically and mentally exhausted. He looks at the woman with disappointment, but killing intent and desperate madness appear in his eyes. Leora resents him, and he has nothing to say, but he, Seraphis, cannot die so pathetically. The next moment, the black shadow lunges toward Kyle. Kyle can't dodge in time and gets wrapped by the snake's tail. A strong sense of crisis rises in Kyle's heart. This man wants to die together with him. Leora's pupils contract sharply. Her heart suddenly panics, and without thinking she shouts, "No, Seraphis, I keep my word. Stop fighting, all of you," she shouts while running toward the 3 men. She can't bear the consequence of death. It's just 3 mates, Maeve has 5. What is she afraid of? No one is allowed to fight anymore. We need to talk. After this fight, only Leif is unharmed. Seraphis and Kyle are much worse off, feeling like they're close to death. Leora gives them some treatment first. When everyone calms down and sits down to chat, it's already half an hour later. Kyle returns to human form. He's a handsome man nearly 2 meters tall with purple short hair and pupils, his upper body muscles bulging with obvious strength. After transforming to human form, Kyle is also naked. Leora doesn't dare to look and quickly urges Leif to give him vine clothing to cover up. It's simply indecent. Leora looks directly at the 3 men. I'm someone who takes relationships very seriously, but I'm willing to try living with all of you. I want to know your thoughts. Kyle is first to express his opinion. Leora, you know I love you and that I'm willing to be your mate. I can also accept sharing you with Leif, but I don't accept this snake. Leif stands on the same side as Kyle, very unwelcoming toward Seraphis. They at least pursued Leora together and finally made progress, but this man despicably forced his way in. Why should they accept him? Leif looks at her affectionately. Leora, I'm willing to share you with Kyle, but Seraphis already expected this result. He looks at Leora. Leora, I apologize for my actions to all of you, but I'm also your mate now. Give me a chance to integrate with you, okay? Then his gaze turns to the 2 men who reject him, asking sharply, You regained human form because of Leora, right? Leora has a special constitution. Do you think just the 2 of you can protect her well? For Seraphis, the fact that Leora can heal the abandoned is a huge surprise. He gets both a mate and doesn't have to die. Watching the 3 men about to argue, Leora quickly says, Stop arguing and listen to me. I'm willing to live with all 3 of you, and I don't want to pursue what happened before. If you can get along peacefully, then we'll live well together in the future. If you really can't tolerate each other, then I can only say sorry. She looked at the 3 men in front of her, waiting for their answer. Seraphis is first to take a stance. I'm willing to stay. Leora, wherever you go, I'll go. Kyle says almost through gritted teeth, Don't worry, Leora. We can get along peacefully. He looks like he's about to bite his teeth to pieces. Leif also forces out a stiff smile. Leora, I can do it too. I love you. Leora breathes a sigh of relief in her heart. But the rules still need to be stated up front. Since everyone agrees, then no more fighting in the future. If anyone starts trouble again, they'll spend a month facing the consequences. The 3 men look at each other, then nod together indicating they can do it. Not enough, add another month of not being able to touch Leora. Both men grit their teeth and agree. Wait, how long have we been out? This whole time away, is Maeve alone okay? Leif replies, 2 days. We need to hurry back to find Maeve. She's alone. What? 2 days? Leora thought only 1 night had passed, but it's been 2 days. She stands up, go back right now, immediately, at once. The remaining 3 men don't dare delay any longer and pack up to head back. A few hours later, they finally return to the cave where they took shelter from rain. Seraphis, with his wings, arrives first at the cave entrance and smells another person's scent inside the cave. Inside the cave, Maeve is pacing back and forth anxiously. It's been 2 days, they should have returned by now, just as she's feeling uneasy. She suddenly hears a familiar voice outside. Maeve, are you inside? Maeve quickly runs out. You're finally back. Huh? A strange snake? This startles Maeve, and she quickly walks toward Leora. Another one? Maeve, let me introduce you. Leora's face shows an unnatural blush. These are my 3 mates. 3? Maeve looks stunned. Where did this snake come from? Met by accident. His name is Seraphis. After introducing Seraphis to Maeve, Leora introduces to Seraphis. This is my sister Maeve, also my good friend. Seraphis nods, and Maeve also greets him, nudging Leora's elbow suggestively. Leora, not bad. You got 3 at once. Leora's face reddens, and she quickly changes the subject. Let's not talk about that. Maeve, how have you been these 2 days? Sorry we came back so late. Maeve waves her hand with a wry smile. Don't worry, I'm a level 6 power user after all. Hunting for myself isn't a problem. Did you encounter any danger these 2 days? Leora shakes her head. At this moment, Kyle says, let's rest first. Leora has been outside for 2 days and is tired. Maeve is immediately surprised. Kyle, you can talk now too? Kyle nods his wolf head coolly. Great. What do you look like in human form? Let me see. Maeve looks at the wolf expectantly. Kyle also wants to show off. He runs toward the trees, but halfway there he turns back. Leif, come with me. Without Leif's sleeves, he'd still have to run naked. A minute later, 2 handsome men with different temperaments walk over. Leora looks at the approaching men and can't help but gasp. They're really handsome. Leora, do I look good? Kyle runs toward the woman. Seraphis sneers inwardly. With such ordinary looks, how dare he ask? He mercilessly disparages. Leora, he looks so average you don't need to comfort him against your conscience. Kyle's face immediately darkens. No matter how ordinary I am, I still look better than your snakehead. Maeve watches their interaction and can't help laughing. Leora, you're really lucky. Leif and Kyle are quite handsome men. Kyle grins smugly. Maeve has good taste. Maeve's gaze moves to the snake. Why does the name Seraphis sound so familiar? Kyle reminds her. Maeve, Seraphis is from the royal family. Guess his identity? What? From the royal family? Both Maeve and Leora are stunned. Seraphis doesn't think his identity is anything shameful. It's just somewhat embarrassing to have become one of the abandoned. He says calmly, I have a sister named Elizabeth. Maeve immediately shows shock. Elizabeth is Her Majesty the Queen's name. You're Prince Seraphis? That's why she found this name so familiar. The ancient winged serpent royal clan isn't something just anyone can impersonate. As the royal family's only prince, Seraphis showed amazing talent from birth. After coming of age, he continuously fought on battlefields, making considerable contributions to the empire and reaching level 9 at a young age. Not only was he powerful, but he also perfectly inherited the excellent genes of the queen. He was very handsome and was the ideal mate choice in women's hearts at the time. Who would have thought his final fate would be so lamentable? Like his older brother, this prince couldn't find a suitable mate due to his excessive power. Under public pressure, Her Majesty had to send her only brother to Vamo. After that, Her Majesty visited Vamo almost every year to see him, until one year when Her Majesty returned from Vamo looking devastated, saying she had lost track of the prince. After that, Her Majesty never went there again. Maeve takes a deep breath and formally reintroduces herself. Prince Seraphis. Hello. I am Count Maeve Ashford, personally appointed by Her Majesty. Seraphis shows surprise in his eyes. A count? How did you end up on planet Vamo? Maeve coughs awkwardly. I'm ashamed to say I was framed. Maeve, this is planet Vamo. There are no princes here. Save the status talk for when we return to the Empire. Kyle mocks unceremoniously. Seraphis looks at him indifferently. Which family are you from? Your power is decent, but I haven't seen you. You're probably not from the same generation, right? This makes Kyle laugh coldly. I'm from St. Row Academy, class 109. I don't have your princely fame, but I arrived at Vamo before you. Leaf nearby suddenly says, I'm also from class 109, but from Starlith Academy. This makes Leora look at the 3 men strangely. How old are all of you? This question makes all 3 men feel guilty, and Maeve's expression also freezes slightly. Seraphis tentatively asks, Leah, how old are you this year? Leora says, I'm 22. What about you? Leif coughs uncomfortably. Leora, we plants have the longest lifespan among all races. With my power level, my prime years will last at least 500 years. I'm over 130 this year. To Leora's shock, she's completely dumbfounded. What? Over 100 years old? Oh my god. Leif is actually her grandfather's generation. Kyle says vaguely, I'm also just over 100, but younger than Leif. Seraphis looks at the sky. I'm 20. Leora is about to go crazy. How did she end up with 3 old guys? Maeve has to explain. Actually, it's fine, Leora. Over 100 is still young for us. They can live to at least 500, and male mates are generally older than us. My first mate was 50 years older than me. He was already an adult when I wasn't even born. Looking at Leora's expression, Leif says anxiously, Sorry, Leora, please don't dislike us. Seraphis also indicates, darling, our winged serpent royal clan's lifespan isn't much shorter than plants. Don't worry. Kyle also nods. Leora, I'm also in my prime. Leora waves her hands tearfully. I know. Let me process this for a couple days. I just didn't expect you all to be so much older than me. The three men fall silent. Leif changes the subject. Weren't we supposed to go back today? Should we eat something first? The salt mountain is nearby. Kyle, you go get salt first. We'll set off after filling our stomachs. Okay. Kyle and Leif split into two groups. Before leaving, they glance at Seraphis, protect them well, then both men leave. About half an hour later. Leif and Kyle both return with full loads, carrying a large bundle of coarse salt wrapped in thick leaves. After being on planet Vamo for so many days, they finally eat flavorful grilled meat, which moves Leora and Maeve to nearly tears. After eating and drinking their fill, everyone prepares to return to their previous cave. They travel the same way as before, with Leora and Maeve sitting on Leif's treetop, except their group has added one more member. Seraphis naturally follows Leora, and they travel smoothly all the way. Just when they're not far from their destination, everyone suddenly stops. Kale leaps to the front, looking toward the cave with a serious expression. Someone occupied our territory after we left. Kale frowns. The scents are mixed. There are at least 5 individuals. Why so many? Leora is a bit worried. Were they attracted by our scent again? Kyle says, not necessarily. I also smell an unfamiliar woman's scent. Oh no, our clothes are still drying on the rocks. They won't have thrown them away, will they? Leora's only concern is her set of clothes and the phone in the cave. These are her only possessions. Quick, let's hurry over and check. Kyle charges forward first. The several abandoned guarding the cave entrance are also startled and immediately surround him when they see a stranger intruding. Suddenly, a ball of black flames falls from the sky, immediately injuring 3 of them. Seeing the situation turn bad, the abandoned call for help from those inside the cave. The commotion outside has already reached inside the cave. A dozen people rush out of the cave at once. Just as the abandoned enter into chaotic battle, a figure slowly emerges from the cave entrance. Seeing the fierce fighting outside, the figure runs back inside in panic. That group is clearly not on the same level as Kyle and his companions. In just 2 minutes, despite being surrounded by over a dozen opponents, Kyle still defeats 7 with thunderous momentum. The other abandoned can't hold on and surrender, standing on all fours on the ground to show submission. Spare us! The surrendering abandoned beg for mercy and terror. The 3-meter-tall Kyle looks down at them condescendingly and coldly scolds, "This is my territory. Get out, all of you!" The deep male voice makes the woman in the cave tremble all over. Then she stumbles out, "Are you from the Empire? Please save me!" A disheveled woman wearing Maeve's night uniform runs out. The woman runs excitedly to Kyle, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Please save me. Please take me away from this place. As long as you take me back to the Empire, I'll do whatever you want." Kyle pushes her away with disgust. "Stand there and don't move." "Who are you?" Kyle warns as he scans the woman. The woman is about to tell her story when suddenly a clear, angry voice comes over. "Who gave you the nerve to steal my clothes?" Maeve walks over angrily, grabbing the woman from the ground with a disgusted expression. The grabbed woman is confused, looking at Maeve and feeling somewhat familiar, but can't remember where she's seen her. Glancing casually, she sees another woman running over. This familiar face immediately brings a name to mind, Fiona. Looking at her attire, her black hair tied back with tree branches, still so smooth, her small face fair and delicate, her body also clean, with a man following behind her. Looking at the woman who grabbed her clothes, though showing anger and slightly weathered features, her body is also clean. Seeing the state of these 2 women, the woman can't help feeling jealous. They're all exiled criminals. She's nearly tortured to death. But why are these 2 so clean? Leora comes over looking for her own clothes, while Maeve drags the woman toward the cave. "These are my clothes, take them off." Without wasting words, Maeve directly starts stripping the clothes. Halfway through, she suddenly sees the stains on them. Her face immediately turns green, and she lets go of the clothes. Maeve is furious and kicks out, "Get lost." The woman is kicked to the ground by her, then climbs up from the ground like a madwoman. "Who do you think you are? We're all thrown onto Vamo. Why do you act so high and mighty?" After speaking, the woman directly transforms into a snake and spits venom at Maeve's face. Maeve quickly dodges. Though the venom doesn't hit her face, it splashes on her shoulder, and even penetrates through the leaves to the skin beneath. Leora can't even bother looking for her clothes anymore. "Are you okay, Maeve?" Maeve says angrily, "She attacked me. I'm going to bite her neck off." Leora sees Maeve's left forearm bleeding black blood and exclaims, "You're poisoned! Come with me quickly, I'll heal you." Leora pulls her into the cave and immediately uses her power to heal Maeve. Maeve also returns to human form. The milky white glow covers the blackened wound, and a pool of black blood is forced out until the blood returns to normal color and the wound begins to heal. Maeve breathes a sigh of relief in her heart and gives Leora a thumbs up with her other uninjured hand. "Leora, your ability is amazing." Leora asks, "Do you know that person from earlier?" Mentioning what just happened, Maeve's expression immediately turns cold. "I don't know her." "Then how did you 2 start fighting?" "The whole thing took less than 2 minutes. That was really fast." Maeve says disdainfully, "They're criminals with psychological problems to begin with. How friendly do you expect them to be? I'm going to settle accounts with her." Leora watches Maeve storm out angrily and quickly follows. While the 2 women were in the cave healing, the 3 men had already controlled the situation. The surrendering ones are all lying together in a group. As for the snake woman who attacked Maeve, she's been bound up by Leaf's vines and hung from a tree, currently fawning over the three men. Her words happen to be overheard by Leora and Maeve as they exit the cave. Maeve directly mocks without mercy. "Isn't what you're saying disgusting? I remember you. I heard you drained the blood of several men and were finally sentenced to exile. You don't even deserve to be called one of the abandoned, yet you dare covet them? Shameless. Today I was almost killed by trash like you. You living is just a waste of resources." Maeve approaches coldly, slowly gathering power in her hands. Seeing this, Crystal can't help but panic. She screams in both terror and rage. "What right do you have to act so high and mighty? I'm trash, but what good are you people? No matter what I am, I'm not as ruthless as Fiona behind you, right?" She skinned men alive and even cut off men's organs to soak in wine. Leif and Kyle know Leora isn't Fiona, but are still shocked by the viciousness Crystal describes. Seraphis, who doesn't know the full story, doesn't think of connecting this to Leora and isn't particularly surprised in his heart. Leora's expression also changes. That Fiona, who looks similar to her, is actually so twisted. Only Maeve remains expressionless, continuing to approach step by step. She takes out a burning fire arrow and without a word of nonsense, shoots it toward Crystal's vital spot. Crystal stares with unwilling eyes wide open. She's burned to death just like that, dying rather horribly. Leora turns her gaze elsewhere, thinking that Maeve is really efficient in her revenge. Maeve claps her hands lightly. The most disgusting parasite of the Empire should have died long ago. After Crystal's death, Kyle tells the other abandoned to get lost. Meanwhile, Leora also finds her clothes torn beyond recognition in the wild grass outside, crouching on the ground with a light sigh. Leif walks over, his voice full of heartache. "Leora, don't be sad. I'll buy you many more and better clothes in the future." Leora nods silently. The clothes were already torn anyway, and wouldn't have lasted more than a few days. There's nothing to regret. "Leif, don't you know how to process animal hides? Let's start tomorrow then." Leif thinks the same way. Kyle, who's been listening, says, "The wolf pack has caves too. We can go live in those caves. With the wolf pack's protection, it's safer than here." Leora looks toward Leif. "Leif, what do you think? We can go take a look first, stay for a few days, and once we confirm the wolf pack poses no threat, we'll settle there." When the word settle is spoken, everyone's hearts fill with longing anticipation. Finally, they'll have a home. Leif sighs with emotion. "Leora, thank you. You make me look forward to our future home." "Me too." Kyle's purple pupils suddenly become gentle. Though Seraphis says nothing, the anticipation in his eyes is genuine. The three men's gazes make Leora's heart slightly moved. Home, such an unfamiliar yet distant word. Yes, with three more people around her, she'll have a home too. She feels both apprehensive and quietly expectant in her heart. The three men surround the woman in the middle, creating an unexpectedly harmonious and warm atmosphere. Since they've decided to check out the wolf pack area, the group doesn't linger and heads toward the wolf pack. The sun is just right, warming them pleasantly. Leif slows his pace, and the group leisurely enjoys the scenery along the way. Kyle returns to wolf form and bounds around the forest. Due to the dense trees making flight inconvenient, Seraphis has to crawl behind Leif. Rarely having such leisure time, Leora is curious about everything in the primitive forest, asking Leif and Kyle about any unfamiliar trees or plants she sees. Planet Vamo is too primitive. All the vegetation here is wild, and there are many even they don't recognize. They only explain the ones they know to Leora. Sitting in the tree fork while moving along, Leora suddenly brightens when she sees a wild fruit tree ahead. Getting closer, the fruits hanging on the tree look quite poor in quality. Looking at the fruits in her hands that are neither green nor red, Leora gets increasingly hungry. She suddenly says, "I want to try whether my power can make it grow new fruits." Maeve is surprised. "Leora, you can also stimulate growth? Do you have two types of power?" Leora isn't clear herself. "I don't know. I accidentally stimulated growth once before. I want to try again." Seraphis, following behind, looks at the woman's back with a different emotion in his eyes. Leora's abilities are mysterious to him. Not only does she possess healing power, but also nature-type growth enhancement. Could this be related to healing? Leora circles the tree once, directly places both hands on the trunk, and channels her power into it. Several pairs of eyes are watching. After she places her hands on it, a miraculous scene occurs. The branches that were about to lose all their leaves actually regain vitality, sprouting tender green buds. Soon the buds grow longer, gradually forming flower buds, then blooming, and fruits slowly grow beneath the flowers. All of this happens under their watchful eyes. A fruit tree's entire growth cycle is completed before their eyes. Every step is captured without missing anything, yet it's incredibly fast. The entire flowering and fruiting process takes just a few minutes. After a few more minutes, all the fruits on the tree ripen and look completely different from those malnourished ones before. This time the tree is full of fruits, each one red and plump, obviously delicious just by looking at them. Maeve's mouth unconsciously forms an O shape, so shocked she's almost stuttering. Feeling it's ready, Leora withdraws her hands, looks up at the tree full of red fruits, and is delighted. Excellent, it really worked. Just as she's about to ask Leif and the others to pick them, she turns around to meet 4 pairs of shocked and complex eyes. Why are you all looking at me like that? Seraphis has a complex expression. Leah, your nature type power is level 9, isn't it? He thinks his own talent is excellent enough, but when he was in his 20s, his power was only level 6. He didn't expect Leora to reach level 9 at such a young age. Kyle opens and closes his mouth, feeling inferior facing such an excellent mate. Leif is better off since he was already mentally prepared, with Leora's mental power stronger than his. Level 9 power isn't strange. Maeve doesn't know what to say anymore. Having witnessed such exceptional talent, Leora doesn't understand. I don't know what level my power is. What's wrong? Looking at the woman's bewildered expression, Seraphis falls silent, as does Kyle. Besides shock, he only feels pride and smugness. Is such an excellent woman his mate? Maeve says with complexity. Leah, do you know? If others saw what you just did, they'd go crazy, stimulating a fruit tree to full growth in such a short time. Do you find it strenuous? Not really. Is there something wrong with my method? Leora doesn't find it tiring at all, including when she purified Leif and the others before. She only feels mentally fatigued if she doesn't sleep, but otherwise doesn't notice anything else. Maeve shakes her head, her eyes showing faint envy. I don't have the ability to comment on anything. Leora, you might be a genius. Leora is amused by her reaction. What genius? We're all family here. Leora, your power might be more important than any of our powers. Maeve speaks seriously and solemnly, with Kyle nodding in strong agreement. Leora feels a bit elated from the praise and gains more confidence in her power. Shouldn't we be picking fruits to eat now? They look so tempting. Leif asks, Leora, would you like to go up and pick them yourself? Leora sounds regretful. I'd like to, but I can't climb trees. Leif smiles indulgently. That's simple. A vine that's been waiting wraps around the woman's slim waist and steadily lifts her up. Leora stands on a fork in the branches, holding the trunk with both hands, her eyes sparkling with excitement as she looks at the fruits on the tree. Leif, help me prepare a large leaf to hold the fruits. Leif quickly creates a large leaf bowl. Kyle, who has returned to human form, also plays his part, holding the leaf and looking up. Leah, throw them down here when you've picked them, and I'll catch them. Leora nods happily, while Seraphis on the side can only watch this scene enviously. Unfortunately, he hasn't recovered yet and can't join in. However, Leif's technique truly shatters his understanding. This is the first time he's seen power used this way. Having had little contact with plants, he doesn't understand much. Can all plants use their powers like this? He vaguely feels that perhaps only Leif can achieve this level. Maybe his noble status and talent far exceeding his peers made him too arrogant, not realizing the Empire still has excellent people like Kyle and Leif. In terms of pure strength, Kyle is a notch below him, but Leif is hard to judge. Soon the container is filled with red fruits, estimated to be over 30 pounds. The fruits are truly delicious, but there are simply too many to pick. They haven't even picked 1/10 of them. Kyle looks at the tree regretfully. We can't carry all of these. Leora has already eaten her fill of fruit and waves her hand carelessly. Why would we need to take them all? Let's leave these for other small animals. We can eat them anytime we want. The group, satisfied with their harvest, can finally set off. More than 10 minutes later, they arrive at the wolf pack. Both sides are very alert. Leif and Seraphis tightly protect the two women behind them, ready to attack at any sign of trouble. The wolf pack is more straightforward. As long as Kyle doesn't give orders, they won't move. Kyle howls toward the wolf pack in his wolf form, and the pack responds with howls. As for what they're communicating, only they know. After the howling, the wolves make way. Kyle then runs behind a tree to transform back to human form. When Kyle appears in human form, the wolf subordinates look at their alpha with burning eyes. My God, what miracle has happened? Kyle pulls Leora to his side. He announces to the wolves, this is my mate, Leora. From now on, you must respect her as you respect me. Use your own lives to protect her safety. If I find anyone daring to have designs on my mate, you know the consequences. His eyes are ruthlessly fierce. The wolves quickly lower their heads in fear. Kyle is very satisfied with this. The wolf pack is located at a cliff face in the dense forest, with terrain that allows for offense and defense. Small caves have been carved out below the cliff, with the Alpha's cave being the largest. Just as Kyle is about to take Leora and the others over, his nose suddenly twitches. His sharp gaze shoots over. There's a woman inside. The wolves exchange glances, looking somewhat guilty. Kyle's oppressive gaze sweeps over the wolves. A yellow-furred wolf tremblingly explains to the Alpha. After hearing the explanation, Kyle kicks the yellow wolf over with one foot. Then he looks at Leora with innocent, anxious eyes. Seraphis says leisurely, I guess the woman in the cave is a mate the wolves prepared for their Alpha, right? Kyle quickly explains. Leah, this has nothing to do with me. I didn't know about this. They made this decision on their own. He then roars angrily at the pack. What are you standing around for? Quickly get the woman out of the cave. They quickly send 2 representatives to drag the woman out of the large cave. Rebecca is thrown into another much smaller cave, but she's unwilling. The wolves are afraid of hurting her, so they hold back their strength, and she breaks free. Rebecca turns around to return to the large cave but is stopped by a stern voice. Stop! That's not a place you can go! Rebecca's body freezes when she sees Kyle in human form. She's obviously excited and exclaims happily, a rational abandoned one. Then she sees Leora beside Kyle. Fiona? Don't you recognize me? Leora explains. Sorry, I'm not Fiona. You've mistaken me for someone else. Rebecca doesn't believe it and approaches Leora. Stop joking. I'm Rebecca. It's just been a few days without combing hair or bathing. You can't recognize me anymore? Rebecca stands in front of Leora and the others, suggestively scanning Kyle's chest. Fiona, is this your new man? Nice body. She even winks at Kyle. Leora is shocked speechless by her shameless behavior. Flirting with her mate right in front of her, her expression immediately turns cold. I don't know you, and I'm not the Fiona you mentioned. Please don't pose seductively in front of my mate. Leora blocks Kyle's front, disgustedly blocking Rebecca's wandering gaze. Her protective behavior warms Kyle's heart immensely. He knows he has a place in Leora's heart. Rebecca is somewhat annoyed by her attitude of desperately trying to distance herself. Just as she's about to say something, a foot suddenly flies from the side, kicking her to the ground. Why did you kick me? Rebecca looks at Maeve, who acted with cold eyes. Get lost, shameless trash! Maeve disgustedly withdraws her leg. Kyle, this batch of exiled women all have at least several lives on their hands. It's better to kill them all to avoid future trouble. At these words, Rebecca's expression changes drastically. Who are you? I'm a good woman from the Empire. I was framed and exiled here. What right do you have to kill me? Who is that woman? What do you mean by constantly denying your identity? Don't you even recognize friends anymore? Rebecca stares intently at Leora. Leora thinks she's crazy. She walks toward Leif. Let Kyle handle this. Maeve is right. She's a criminal, and her behavior shows she's no good person. Seeing his mate unhappy and walking away, Kyle naturally transfers his anger to Rebecca. Killing intent surges in his eyes as he considers whether to kill her or throw her out. Rebecca is frightened by Kyle's gaze. Seeing he really wants to listen to the woman and kill her, panic flashes in her eyes. She shouts, I haven't done anything. Why should you kill me? Suddenly she thinks of something and looks angrily at Leora. Fiona, you want to kill me to silence me, don't you? You're afraid your current mates will learn about what you did before, aren't you? Rebecca angrily climbs up from the ground. Maeve is so speechless she laughs. I see you're not only blind but deaf. You can't even recognize your own friend correctly. Look carefully. Is that the Fiona you know? And the person who wants to kill you is me. Did you hear clearly? Rebecca doesn't understand how she offended this red-haired woman. Looking again at the silent Fiona, those unfamiliar yet clear eyes are indeed different from the Fiona she knew. Rebecca shouts unwillingly, You can't kill me! I have no grudge against you! Why would you touch me? Rebecca looks at the wolves behind her. Not a shred of manly responsibility. No wonder you can't find mates and ended up as abandoned. Rebecca curses angrily in her heart. In fact, the other wolves were torn as well. They could see the alpha wanted the woman dead, but they really didn't want her to die. They want to intervene, but fear making the alpha angry. Caught in a dilemma, Kyle naturally sees the desire in his subordinate's eyes and hesitates. In the pack, a woman's presence can stabilize the pack's madness rate. At this moment, a wolf actually hesitantly blocks Rebecca's front, looking at the alpha with fearful, yet pleading eyes, trying to persuade Kyle. Kyle frowns at Maeve. Must she be killed? Seeing Kyle's hesitation, Maeve reminds him, she's a criminal, not a good person. Are you sure you want to spare her life? Kyle states a fact with an unchanged expression. She seems to be pregnant. What? Rebecca shows momentary confusion on her face. The wolf beside her whimpers, its paws touching Rebecca's flat abdomen expectantly yet carefully. The scent of shared blood awakens the wolf's paternal instincts. Maeve asks with complex eyes, Can you really confirm she's pregnant? Kyle nods. Maeve, I understand your thinking, but Rebecca poses no threat to us. Let's spare her life. The pack needs her. Maeve suddenly realizes, yes, Rebecca can't die. If she dies, won't the pack's next target be her? Maeve immediately changes her mind, speaking seriously. You're right. Let Rebecca stay with them. Seeing Maeve no longer insisting, Leora's worried heart also relaxes. Hearing them change their minds, Rebecca also breathes a sigh of relief, retracting her venomous gaze and touching her abdomen with disbelief. She's actually pregnant. This must be a gift from the gods. She must protect this child well. At this moment, Leora suggests, since she's pregnant, let's arrange for her and the cub's father to share a cave. Kyle arranges Rebecca and Bruno in the outermost small cave, with the other wolves staying as before. Only one rule, they cannot approach the alpha's cave or the cave next to the alphas. These two caves belong to Leora and Maeve. Night falls quickly. A bonfire burns in front of Leora's cave, they sitting around it, so conspicuous among the wolves. Leif adds firewood to the fire, saying quietly, She's hostile toward us. Perhaps you shouldn't have spared her life. Maeve shrugs matter-of-factly. I said long ago that this batch of exiled women are all ruthless characters. They all have several innocent lives on their hands. With extremely cruel methods, they're all twisted. That crystal I killed this morning drained 5 mates of their blood and even made the mates' corpses into jerky. Leora's eyes widen in shock. Why would she do that? Does she have a habit of drinking blood? She was on drugs, and this drug came from the insectborn. Seraphis nearby adds, Leora doesn't know, you don't understand the insectborn. It's a male-dominant, female-submissive race where males have natural dominance over females. Female status is even lower than men's status in our empire. Most females are beaten to death by domestic violence. Under such oppression, some females researched a drug to resist. If you feed this drug to males, they become addicted. The more they consume, the less blood remains in their bodies until death. But by accident, a woman mistakenly consumed it and became uncontrollably addicted. Because this drug gives women an intense euphoric feeling, this kind of pleasure easily becomes addictive. Maeve stirs the fire with a stick. Leora understands now. The other 3 men listen silently. At night, Maeve returns to her own cave. Leora says with a red face, trying to appear calm, "I plan to purify Seraphis tonight. You two should sleep." Both men show obvious disappointment. Only Seraphis can't control his joy. He didn't expect Leora to favor him so much. "Leah, we should go into the cave now." Leora enters the cave with a red face. The interior is spacious, with clean emerald vine mats spread on the stone bed. Leora directs Seraphis to lie on the bed, placing her hands on him nervously. "Lie still and don't move. If you move, it'll affect my performance." Seraphis's eyes show faint excitement and eagerness. Then the cave brightens. The power glow in the woman's hands is like a blazing little sun, making Seraphis' consciousness tremble comfortably. A woman's voice reaches his ears. "I've started purifying you. Sleep if you want, you'll be recovered when you wake up." Leora tries not to make eye contact with Seraphis because she still can't control her fear. Seraphis asks, "You're using power to purify me?" Leora nods. "Yes, my power can heal. Meeting me is your luck." Leora closes her eyes, sitting cross-legged against the wall. Under the glow's illumination, her serene face appears tranquil and sacred. The night passes quietly like this. Early the next morning, Leora looks at Seraphis with questioning eyes. No wonder Seraphis said Kyle didn't look good. Black-haired, red-eyed Seraphis is as handsome as an ancient European vampire nobleman. At this moment, Leora screams internally, "People have no resistance to beautiful things." An hour later, the stone blocking the cave entrance is moved aside. Everyone comes out of their caves one after another, some hunting, some starting fires. After a long while, Leora finally emerges from the cave. At this time, Maeve also pushes away the stone, asking sleepily, "You're all up so early? Maeve, didn't you sleep well last night?" Maeve smiles bitterly. "Leora, I've had insomnia these past few days without sleeping next to you." "Then Maeve, you can sleep with me tonight." "I can't sleep well without you beside me either." Leora is so happy she wants to hug Maeve and spin around. Leora still feels somewhat embarrassed and cannot face the other 3 calmly. Maeve says with amusement, "Leora, you're someone with mates now, how can we make you separate from them?" After speaking, she looks at the 3 men behind her, and sure enough, each face is written with disapproval. Leif hands over grilled meat. "Leora, eat quickly. After eating, we'll go to the river to clean the animal hides." After breakfast, everyone chats while walking toward the river. Leora has just finished washing the animal hides and hands them to Leif when Seraphis approaches with concern. "Leora, you must be tired. The 3 of us can handle these hides." You and Maeve insisted on helping. "Look, your hands are all wrinkled from soaking." Leora's expression is also somewhat helpless. "So many hides are being prepared for us to wear. Isn't it right for us to help? How could we just sit and watch?" Looking at the 3 men's concern for her, Leora suddenly has an indescribable feeling in her heart. It's warm. Leif takes her hand. "Leah, you and Maeve don't need to help anymore from now on." "I understand," she says helplessly. Though the hides are initially cleaned, they still need to soak for several days before becoming clothing. At this time, Kyle has already started a fire and is grilling fish. "Leah, let's eat lunch before going back." The grilled fish gives off a faint aroma, but Leora has no appetite. If only we had a pot, then we could make fish soup, sitting on a rock with her, chin propped on one hand. Thinking about the taste of fish soup, she gets hungrier thinking about it. Maeve also has no appetite. Her stomach feels uncomfortable, whether from hunger or something else. Kyle thinks of a solution. "Leora, I'll carve out a pot from stone. That way we can cook fish soup, and stone pots won't crack easily from heat." These people are all action-oriented. Once decided, they get to work. Kale finds a suitably sized stone. After Seraphis uses his power to burn a large hole in the middle of the stone, he hands it to Kale. Kale's right hand transforms into wolf claws, wrapping his power around his claws to polish the inside of the stone pot. Leora's eyes grow wider and wider. These 2 working together could start a small construction team. More than 10 minutes later, a stone pot with a smooth interior is completed. Kyle presents it to Leora like offering treasure. "Leora, see if this works." Compared to the pot, Leora is more concerned about his claws. "Kyle, let me see your hands quickly." "How could you use your claws? What if they get worn down? How will you hunt in the future?" Faced with Leora's concern, Kyle smiles and extends his still unchanged wolf claws. "Leora, you underestimate me. It's just a stone. It won't wear down my claws." Leora cradles his wolf claws, examining them carefully, then praises with a smile, "Kyle, you're amazing. Seraphis is amazing too. Your power is incredible. To celebrate you making the stone pot, once we find seasonings, I'll make fish soup for you. How about that?" Leora's smile is as brilliant as sunshine, making both Seraphis and Kyle stare blankly. "Great!" Both men look like lovesick fools, making Leora laugh helplessly. Leif also hands over the grilled fish. Leora takes the grilled fish and eats it in small bites. All 3 of them are so considerate. Is this the benefit of transmigration? She can understand Maeve's happiness now. Just 3 mates already take such good care of her. How happy must Maeve be with 5? Wait, one of those 5 is a traitor. Though she doesn't know the reason, it proves having too many mates has risks. 3 is just right. Holding the grilled fish, Leora gnaws on it. This fish has become the taste of happiness. This is also her first time experiencing the flavor of happiness. After lunch, on their way back, the group discovers some wild vegetables. Leora picks quite a few. Leif, let's go pick some fruits too. It's on our way anyway. They arrive at yesterday's wild fruit tree. Leora gets down from Leif and stares at the bare tree in amazement. No way, it's only been one night. How are all the fruits gone? I don't even see any pits on the ground. Kyle guesses, probably because the fruits you grew were too sweet, so they were quickly taken by forest animals. Then I'll grow some more. Should she be proud that her fruits are so popular? Seraphis can't bear to let his mates produce benefit others entirely. He suggests, Leora, why don't we bring the fruit tree back to plant at the Wolfpack camp? That way no beasts will dare steal them. Leora thinks this is a good idea. I'll try whether I can plant a branch I break off. Leora casually breaks off a branch, inserts it into the soil, and directly stimulates growth. A small branch under spiritual energy's catalysis slowly sprouts and unfolds, quickly taking the shape of a small sapling. Everyone's breathing hitches watching this. Seeing the result, Leora smiles. Excellent. It really works. We just need to take this one back. Seraphis, please pull up this sapling first. I'll plant it when we get back. All right. Seraphis suppresses his surprise and silently steps forward to pull out the sapling. The 3 men exchange glances, all seeing the gravity in each other's eyes. Leora's abilities are far more powerful than they imagined. Leif returns to human form and speaks seriously to the female. Leah, when we return to the Empire, you cannot easily display your powers to others, understand? Leora is slightly stunned. Why? Because it's too rare and terrifyingly powerful. I'm afraid you'll be targeted by those with ulterior motives and then you'll be in danger. Seraphis nods. Leora, do you know? No one in the Empire can do what you just did. Your power can purify the abandoned, heal wounds, and restore vitality to plants. You very likely have the legendary life-type power. What is life-type power? Life-type power is the ability closest to the beast god. It's said to revive all things and purify all darkness. These are the exact words from the books. Maeve happens to have read about this. I heard that many years ago. People with life-type power weren't uncommon, but viruses hadn't appeared then, so no one thought it particularly important. Most people with this power stayed in the army as military doctors, but the Empire's high command had an insect-born traitor who killed all the military doctors. In short, during that chaotic era, life-type power users were among the first to be eliminated. Only later, when alien viruses infected everyone, did people realize life-type power's importance. But it was too late. The Empire no longer had anyone with life-type power. It gradually became legend. Maeve tells Leora everything she knows. Leora listens with a heavy heart. This can no longer be heard as just a historical story. How frightening. She can't withstand such turmoil. Don't guess wildly. I'm not someone with life-type power. I'm just an ordinary person who knows a bit of nature-type and healing-type powers. Alright, I'll listen to you and avoid displaying powers in public in the future. Now that we've pulled up the sapling, shouldn't we head back? Leora's avoidant attitude seems somewhat like denial to Maeve and Seraphis, but it's really not good news. Better not to scare Leora. Good, let's go back now. Leif transforms back into a tree, carrying Leora and Maeve on the path back to camp. As for Leora's power issue, everyone forcibly ignores it. Who cares anyway? As long as they don't go out broadcasting it, who would know about Leora's special powers? Even if it's true, so what? With their strength, if they can't even protect their mate, they might as well commit suicide. Leora finds an empty space around the cave and plants saplings in the soil, using her growth enhancement ability. In no time, the trees are heavy with fruit. After finishing these tasks, the sky grows dark, but Leora still won't enter the cave. The reason is crystal clear to Leif. Maeve can't hold on any longer and is already yawning constantly. Just as she stands up, Leora immediately follows suit. Maeve, are you tired? Then let's hurry back to the cave to sleep. Before Maeve can speak, Kale beats her to it. Leah is just joking. Maeve, go ahead and sleep. We're heading back to rest too. With that, he scoops up Leora and quickly walks back to the cave. Maeve watches Leah being carried away, her eyes full of unspoken words. Don't scare her! Seraphis smiles meaningfully. How could we? Leah is our mate. We'll only love her. Let's go, sweet dreams. He says this and enters the cave. Leif also enters the cave and blocks the entrance with stones. Inside the cave at this moment, Leora sits cross-legged on the soft vine bed, looking seriously at the 3 men standing in a row across from her. I have a question for you all. How long have you been abandoned? About 20 years or so. Seraphis can't quite remember the exact years. All these years of virus erosion have affected him. About the same for me. I only remember becoming one a bit earlier than Seraphis. When my power collapsed, Seraphis was at the height of his fame in the Empire. Kael's tone carries a hint of resentment. Leif smiles. Kael and I graduated the same year, but I was sent to Vamo after Seraphis. The years don't differ much. Leah, why are you asking this? Leora makes an O sound and continues asking. During these years as abandoned, has the Empire ever exiled women here? Kael nods, definitely. The Empire sends batches of criminal women every few years. I've encountered them several times, Leif says. I've never met any. After becoming abandoned, I've spent most of my time in hibernation, until I met you. Seraphis' thoughts run deeper. Leah's questions are strange, but he still answers, I've never seen other women either. Snakes enter winter sleep when it gets cold. Leora basically understands now. Her meaningful gaze then falls on Kael. Kael, you've encountered women before? So have you mated with other women like other wolves do? Though her voice remains gentle and soft, the tone makes Kael's heart tighten. Belatedly realizing what the woman is inquiring about, Kael hurriedly explains his innocence. Leah, don't think crazy thoughts. You're my first woman and my only one. I can swear to the beast god that I've never mated with any woman except you. What about men? Leora asks without thinking. Kael is shocked. Leora coughs awkwardly. Nothing, I misspoke. Well, I believe you, Kael. What about you two, Leif? Did you have lovers before meeting me? Leif is the first to shake his head. No, if I had a woman I loved, I wouldn't have become abandoned. Seraphis gives the same answer. How embarrassing to say. The reason they became abandoned was because they couldn't find wives. Seeing all three say no, Leora's heart finally settles. She doesn't regret asking about this matter. It's best to clear up any doubts from the beginning, otherwise misunderstandings will arise later. Then we'll all live well together from now on, okay? Leif smiles tenderly. Of course, Leah. I said I'd protect you for life. With the questions finished, and having openly shared their pasts with each other, the atmosphere has reached this point, and their gazes hold more ambiguity. Leora shyly bites her lip, feeling restless and nervous. She's not ready to be with all three together. Would refusing break the mood too much? While struggling with this, a wolf howl suddenly echoes from outside, startling Leora and completely destroying the intimate atmosphere. Kael frowns deeply. Several wolves have gone berserk. Don't worry about it, they can't break through to here from outside. Seraphis explains, Leah, this is what the abandoned are like. Constantly eroded by the virus. Unless they die, they'll keep losing control and going berserk. When berserk, they have no rationality at all. Going out now really isn't a wise choice. So that's how it is. Leora's heart fills with mixed emotions. If she hadn't appeared, would these three have ended up the same way? The wolves outside howl heart-wrenchingly, accompanied by sounds of heavy objects colliding and various trees breaking. The sounds make Leora's heart race with fear. From the sounds, it's not just one wolf. Suddenly, a slightly panicked voice comes from the neighboring cave. Leah, can you hear me? The wolves outside have gone berserk. What should we do now? Kael responds. Don't worry, Maeve. Stay hidden in the cave and don't come out. Before he finishes speaking, there's a loud crash and Maeve lets out a scream. The three men's expressions change dramatically. Kael immediately says, Leif, Seraphis, stay here and guard Leah. I'll go save Maeve. Maeve in the cave has already been dragged out by a berserk wolf. Just as she's about to be torn apart by multiple wolves, Kael instantly transforms into his wolf form, roars and rescues Maeve from the wolves' claws, throwing her into their cave. Then he charges into the wolf pack, driving all the berserk wolves away. The berserk wolves roll on the ground in pain, frantically hitting their heads against things to relieve the needle-like pain. While rolling around, one hits a tree and a bright red fruit falls down. The wolf bites and crushes the fruit. When the sweet juice flows down its throat, the needle-like headache actually eases for a moment, like discovering a new world. The wolf's blood-red pupils lock onto the fruit tree before it, swallowing fruit after fruit. As the fruits enter its stomach, the headache slowly fades and its rationality becomes clearer. The wolf is overjoyed by this discovery and immediately howls loudly, calling all its companions to come eat the fruit. When Kael returns injured, the remaining wolves have already eaten all the fruit from the tree. But Kael doesn't mind this. Instead, he hurries back to the cave. Leah, are you all okay? Leora has just finished treating Maeve. She shakes her head with lingering fear. We're fine. Leif and Seraphis protected us, so no wolves got in. Maeve was hurt a bit, but I just finished healing her. While speaking, she examines Kael's body, seeing the man's body covered in small wounds. She can't help but exclaim, Oh my god! Kael, you're seriously injured! Come sit down so I can treat you! Kael waves his hand. These are minor wounds, no big deal. I'll get treatment later. Let me go make arrangements first. Kael feels very guilty. When deciding to settle with the wolf pack, he overlooked this fatal problem. The abandoned can't avoid going berserk. Wolfpack berserking is very dangerous. Kael is already considering whether to move away from here. Lost in thought, he walks up to the wolf pack. Seeing the wolves eating fruit with unsatisfied expressions, he frowns and asks, How do you feel? If you can't control yourselves, get away from the camp immediately and come back after you've vented. Hearing their alpha's words, the wolf who first discovered the fruit's benefits points at the fruit tree and howls. Kael is instantly amazed. What? Are you telling the truth? Your heads really stopped hurting after eating the fruit? The wolves nod heavily, chattering about how comfortable they felt after eating the fruit. Kael is very surprised. The fruit tree was grown by Leah. Could these fruits also have purification abilities? Kael turns back to the cave. Leah, the fruit you grew seems to also purify the abandoned. He explains the wolves' reactions after eating the fruit. Leora is stunned. Really? That's great. Then they should recover to normal after eating them, right? Kael and Leif exchange glances. Leah, do you really want to help them purify? Leora nods without hesitation. Since I have this ability, naturally I'll help when I can. Starting tomorrow, I'll begin growing fruit until they're completely healed. With the wolf pack's berserking incident concluded, Leora's tense nerves finally relax. The drowsiness that disappeared earlier returns with a vengeance. Leora and Maeve sleep in the cave while the three men stand guard outside. day gradually breaks, and Leora and Maeve wake to the smell of roasted meat. After breakfast, Seraphis and Maeve accompany Leora to use growth enhancement. One fruit tree's fruit clearly isn't enough for dozens of wolves. Leora simply grows several more trees, even enhancing the half-dead wild vegetables on the ground. In just 1 hour, she not only ripens fruit from 5 trees but also grows a large patch of wild vegetables. Looking at Leora's face, there's still no sign of fatigue. Clearly this hasn't reached her limit. Leora stops her ability and stands up from the vegetable patch. Where is everyone? Leora thought Seraphis and Maeve were right beside her. Who knew that when she looked up mid-sentence, she found herself surrounded by wild vegetables, while those two were still standing under the fruit trees. Her current position is at least 100 meters from the fruit trees, like a small farm. Seraphis sees her finally stop. Leah, this is too much. You don't need to continue. Leora looks at herself surrounded by vegetables and calls out to them helplessly. I know, but I seem unable to get out now. Back in the cave, Seraphis frowns. I think you shouldn't grow plants during the day anymore. Wait until those wolves are asleep at night, to avoid unnecessary trouble. That's fine with me. It doesn't take much time anyway. Leif sits at the stone table and takes a bite of roasted meat, suddenly saying, When I came back just now, I faintly smelled unfamiliar abandoned scents nearby. Did you notice? Kyle and Seraphis frown. We didn't notice. I'll patrol outside after lunch. Kyle doesn't take it seriously. No abandoned would be stupid enough to provoke a wolf pack. Night gradually deepens. The wolves who ate the vegetables lie sleeping in the vegetable patch, sleeping sweetly. They also miss this magical moment. The vegetable patch that had been eaten clean during the day is now growing frantically, until it grows to about the same size as during the day before stopping. Leora is carried back to the cave by Seraphis. Leah, how do you feel? Are you tired? Not tired really, just feels like doing something sneaky in the middle of the night. Leah, you're the kindest person I've ever met. Seraphis gently brushes the hair blown by wind behind her ear. It's so late. I'm tired and want to sleep first. You should rest too. At the cave entrance, Leora purses her lips and tries to push the 3 men toward the side cave. The moment her hand touches Leif's arm, she's pulled into Kyle's embrace. Leah, since you can't sleep, how about we take you to see the stars? Leora's heart races from the breath by her ear. Blushing, she says, When did I say I couldn't sleep? I'm so tired. Let's talk tomorrow. Leah, tomorrow night might not have such beautiful stars. Leif grabs her hand, his gaze carrying a hint of unusual heat. Seraphis says nothing, just swallows hard. Leora's heart becomes more flustered. Why does she feel that going out won't be as simple as stargazing? Leah, please don't refuse us, okay? Kyle shows puppy dog eyes. Though he's in human form now, Leora seems to see his drooping ears. In the end, Leora is half persuaded, half coerced into being taken away by Seraphis and Kyle. To ensure Maeve has a good sleep, Leif thoughtfully blocks the cave entrance with stones. Night becomes quiet again. Maeve, who is sleeping lightly in the cave, finally relaxes her brow and silently complains about these 3 men. Leora is taken by the 3 men over 1,000 meters from the Wolfpack camp. She knew stargazing was their excuse. These 3 clearly intended. Just thinking about what might happen next makes Leora's heart race like a startled deer. Meanwhile, the Wolfpack camp experiences unprecedented tranquility. The wolves sleep in the lush vegetable patch. A breeze blows, and a wolf wakes alertly from sleep. It's quickly amazed by the vegetable patch before its eyes. My god, this must be a gift from the beast god. The grassland eaten clean during the day has somehow grown new grass again. The feasting wolves completely fail to notice that 200 meters away from them, under the wild fruit tree, lurks a sneaky black shadow. The fruit on the tree disappears rapidly, and soon it becomes bare. If someone approached the fruit tree now, they would see a huge black mouth on the other side of the tree, with white teeth occasionally flashing coldly. Just as he's about to eat from another tree, he suddenly smells a rich, sweet scent coming from the cave not far behind him. Dark brown pupils flash with longing and hesitation. The cave has a very strong woman's scent. The stone blocking the cave is easily pushed aside by him, his fur blending with the night. Maeve, sleeping on the stone bed, senses danger in her dreams. She groggily tries to wake up, but loses consciousness completely before opening her eyes. Bran shoulders the woman and quickly flees the Wolfpack camp. Without the cave and stones as barriers, the woman's scent reaches the wolves' noses. One wolf hesitantly approaches the cave. The alpha isn't here? Realizing this, the wolf becomes much bolder. But before getting close to the cave, he smells an unfamiliar scent. The wolf leaps into the cave like a sword. Sure enough, the cave is empty, but there's a very unfamiliar male scent. He immediately guesses that another abandoned has stolen the woman right under the Wolfpack's nose. The wolf howls to the sky. This howl wakes all the wolves. All wolves are howling. Some run outside, and wolf howls echo through the forest. On the other side, Kale is being intimate with Leora when the wolf howls reach them. Kale pauses. Seraphis and Leif shield Leora. Go check what's wrong with your Wolfpack again? Kale glances at them both and shoots out like lightning. After Kale leaves, Leora's eyes are still somewhat hazy. Leif and Seraphis snuggle close to her. After a while, Leora recovers somewhat. At this moment, Kale returns with a serious expression. Something happened at camp. Maeve has been stolen by another abandoned. How could this happen? Leora asks urgently. An abandoned snuck into camp while the wolves were sleeping and stole Maeve, but didn't get far. The wolf pack is now following the scent trail. Leah, you and Leif stay here while I go chase that abandoned. Then go quickly. Make sure to rescue Maeve. Seraphis, you can fly. Go with him. What if there are several abandoned who took Maeve? You two can watch each other's backs. All right, we will definitely find Maeve. With that, both men speed away. Leif gently embraces Leora's shoulders. Don't worry, Leah. Maeve wasn't taken long ago. With Kyle and Seraphis' abilities, there aren't many abandoned who can match them. Let's go back and wait. Okay. Leora watches the direction they left, feeling uneasy and restless. She can only silently pray for Maeve's safe return. Sitting on Leif's branch with an unsettled mind, Leora suddenly notices small red flowers growing on the branch beside her hand. Leif, you can bloom flowers? Leah, all plants bloom. Leora casually picks one and holds it up to examine, huh? Leif, I saw these little flowers on the grass mat you made for me before. So those were your flowers? They're very pretty. Several more flowers bloom on Leif's branches. I'm glad you like them. I do. They're quite beautiful and smell nice too. Leora picks 2 more small flowers and tucks them into her hair. Leora thinks of Maeve again, and her briefly calmed anxiety returns. Seeing Leora go silent again, Leif knows she's worrying about Maeve. Leah, trust Kyle and Seraphis. Don't worry too much. Leora nods and sighs softly while looking at the flowers in her hand. Back at camp, the bed in the cave still carries Maeve's scent. Leora remains worried. Leif sits beside her and pulls her into his arms. Want to rest for a bit? I'll wake you when Kyle and the others have news. Meanwhile, Maeve is still unconscious, carried on the shoulder of a bear about 3 to 4 meters tall as it flees through the jungle. The bear's back is wide, and the woman's petite body lying on it is like resting in a warm little bed. Not only is Maeve not uncomfortable, she's actually sleeping soundly. The bear runs rapidly through the forest on furry legs. Despite its large size, it moves quite agilely. Bran's expression has changed from initial joy to current gravity. He can faintly hear wolf howls and doesn't dare stop, frantically thinking of countermeasures. People with strong abilities have accurate intuition. He vaguely feels the wolf pack pursuing him is formidable. Should he drop the person on his back and escape alone? But surrendering without a fight seems too cowardly. But he knows very clearly that if he's really caught by those wolves, his chances of survival are slim. He's barely survived until now, and sees a glimmer of hope for living. The man hesitates between life and the woman on his back. This choice is truly difficult for him. He's been running for nearly 3 hours. The further he runs, the stronger his sense of crisis becomes. He always feels a very dangerous presence approaching. Bran is startled. He doesn't know where he's fled to. Suddenly, a scent reaches his nose. Bran thinks this is bad. He's unlucky today. He hasn't escaped the wolf's den, only to step into a lion's lair. Wait, a lion's lair? Bran's eyes instantly brighten. He's thought of a way to escape. Bran runs straight toward the clearing ahead. A group of lions is resting in that clearing. Before he fully approaches, the group senses the unfamiliar scent and roars angrily at him. Among them is an unusually large lion who seems to be the pride's leader, his cold gaze already locked onto him. Bran steels himself and charges straight through. Before those lions can react, he speeds away. The leader roars angrily. His golden mane gleams in the dark night like a golden meteor as he pursues with killing intent. Sharp claws slash through the darkness. Bran is struck and grunts but doesn't dare stop. The leader never expected the other would take his strike head-on without dodging. Watching the man flee frantically, confusion flashes in his golden eyes. Then his expression changes drastically. He immediately turns to look behind him, then spits a golden arrow of light into the air. Seeking death, the golden lion's condensed light sword is unstoppable. Seraphis is startled and dodges to the side. He immediately throws a black light orb in retaliation. Just as he prepares to leave to chase the bear ahead, the golden lion below attacks him again, summoning dozens of subordinates to surround him. Seraphis can't break free for the moment, Kale. Bring your wolf pack to help. His sudden speech startles the attackers. He can talk. This isn't an abandoned? If that's the case, we definitely can't let him go. The pride's attacks become much fiercer, everyone using full strength. Seraphis has trouble holding them off, his expression growing darker, until wolf howls arrive and he finally breathes easier. As Kyle appears, battle breaks out immediately. No one cares about the cause. They just focus on their enemies, determined to make them pay with their lives. How could the Golden Lion leader tolerate such provocation? Facing the combined assault of Kyle and Seraphis, not only is he unafraid, he becomes more excited. Gradually, those blood-red eyes show only slaughter, an earth-shaking roar, and the golden-maned leader's power suddenly surges up a level. Kyle and Seraphis' hearts sink. Oh no, he's gone berserk! The Golden Lion is also level 9 ability, and this level of abandoned going berserk is much harder to handle. Kyle, Maeve was taken by a bear. I was about to catch up when this pride of lions surrounded me. I'm afraid that bear has already escaped without a trace. After understanding the situation, Kyle looks serious. Now the most important thing is whether they can successfully escape. While the battle was in full swing here, the bear who successfully escaped feels fortunate. To avoid detection, he doesn't stop running until daybreak when he finally finds a cave. Bran is very happy. Now I have a mate and food. After running all night, I can finally rest. Bran carefully places the unconscious woman on the ground and sits beside her. He's a solitary abandoned who lived freely on his own, Joining a group could solve survival problems, but required bowing to the group leader, making life unpleasant. Before becoming abandoned, he had to grovel to his captain every day to save money. Now that he's abandoned, he refuses to suffer such indignity. He lacks the ability to lead a group, so he simply went solo. With his strength, surviving in the forest isn't a problem. Staying away from other abandoned reduces conflict and helps him live longer. A few days ago, while wandering the forest, winter was approaching and he needed to hurry gathering wild fruits before they became unavailable. Perhaps blessed by the beast god, he discovered a particularly sweet fruit tree, covered with red fruits. He eagerly tasted them. Surprisingly, the fruits were sweeter than expected. Bran ate them all in one go. He slept until the next morning. Even more surprising, after that sleep, his body felt incredibly light. His head no longer hurt, and his senses were clearer. He cheered joyfully, having an intuition that his physical changes were definitely related to the wild fruits he ate yesterday. He seemed to see hope for survival and frantically searched the forest. It took several hours to reach the area near the wolf pack settlement. He immediately spotted a red fruit tree deep in the camp, laden with fruit. The bear's eyes immediately showed longing, but he couldn't get close. There were too many wolves. He could only wait patiently for an opportunity. The next night, around midnight, he quietly approached. He suddenly discovered that what had been weedy wasteland was now full of green vegetables, and the fruit tree had multiplied from 1 to 5 in a day. The camp was quiet with all wolves sleeping. Bran knew his opportunity had come. He originally only wanted to steal some fruit, but unexpectedly ended up stealing a mate too. Just thinking about it makes him grin. Bran plans to carry the woman into the cave to sleep. As his furry bear paw lifts the woman's body, Maeve awakens from unconsciousness, opening her eyes to see a magnified bear face. Her heart nearly jumps out. What's happening? Wasn't she sleeping in the wolf camp cave? Seeing the other's clear eyes, Maeve relaxes slightly. This should also be an abandoned who retains rationality. You still have your sanity, right? The bear nods. She continues, did you kidnap me here? If you can't speak, you can nod or shake your head. Bran neither nods nor shakes his head, just stares at her. Maeve says, as long as you take me back where you got me, I can help you return to human form and purify the virus in your body. This is Maeve's attempt at negotiation. Bran immediately thinks of those magical fruits. He's about to nod when he suddenly remembers last night's pursuing wolf pack. Under his deliberate luring, they fought with the lions, offending 2 groups at once. If he dares show his face again, won't he be torn apart on the spot? Bran's excited mind cools down somewhat. Then he shakes his head. Maeve doesn't understand. I said I can help you return to human form. Bran shakes his head and firmly writes with his bear paw, I only want you. Maeve instantly explodes, unable to contain herself any longer, and attacks the bear. At the wolf pack camp, Leora paces anxiously in front of the cave. Leif points to the sky. Leah, look, Seraphis is back. However, when he lands, they discover only Seraphis has returned alone. How's the situation? Did you find Maeve? Seraphis folds his wings back into human form. Leora sees new wounds on his body. Leif frowns. How did you get beaten up like this? Was the abandoned who took Maeve very strong? Seraphis looks grim. My injuries aren't serious. Maeve was kidnapped by a bear. But during our pursuit, we encountered a berserk lion pride. We fought half the night before, breaking free from that troublesome group. Kael continued the pursuit with the wolf pack. I came back to report our safety. Leif catches the key point. Another level 9 abandoned appeared, with strength comparable to ours? Seraphis nods gravely. Leora is somewhat speechless. Didn't Maeve say level 9 ability users are rare? Why does it feel like they're everywhere? The 2 exchange glances, somewhat embarrassed. Never mind that. Finding Maeve is most urgent. Seraphis, get into the cave quickly so I can treat your wounds. Alright. Seraphis feels warmth in his heart. As long as Leah doesn't despise him, that's enough. Meanwhile, Maeve finally can't take it anymore, stupid and selfish bear. What makes you think I'd willingly be your mate? You could clearly become a normal person, and I'd give you the right to court me. If you insist on this disgusting forced approach, I guarantee you'll get nothing in the end. Maeve stares at him coldly. These words make Bran pause, deep inferiority welling up in his heart. The 2 stare at each other for a long time. Watching the bear's gaze grow increasingly dim, Maeve feels somewhat soft-hearted. Abandoned life is very difficult, she can understand. And although the other kidnapped her, he hasn't actually harmed her so far. If possible, she's willing to help him, so she softens her tone for another attempt at persuasion. I really wasn't lying. If I say I can restore you, then I definitely can, and will definitely return to the Empire. I can give you money to start a new life. Bran listens quietly, silent for a long time, writing on the ground. I'll take you back. If I don't get killed, please give me a chance to court you. When Maeve reads the last word, her heart completely wavers. If this man can take her back, then she's willing to give him this chance. I promise you. Once you recover, I'll give you the chance to court me. But I have high standards for my future mate. I hope you understand. Bran's eyes fill with joy. He walks to Maeve and crouches down, signaling her to climb on. Maeve leaps onto the man's shoulder. Bran takes heavy steps on the road back to the Wolfpack camp. Past noon, Leora sits by the fire pit, constantly looking outside. It's been most of the day. Why isn't Kyle back yet? Leif is helping her organize her hair and clothes. Leah, your hair is a bit messy. I'll help you style it later. Then make me look pretty. Leif smiles confidently. Don't worry, my Leah is naturally beautiful. Just a simple styling will look gorgeous. Seraphis smiles softly while watching them, saying nothing. Leif uses thin vines to tie Leora's hair into a high ponytail, then produces small red flowers from somewhere and evenly inserts them in a circle. Seraphis, who watched the entire process, stares strangely at the small red flowers. Done! Leora turns to look into Leif's eyes, seeing her own small reflection in his pupils. Seraphis scoops up Leora. Leah, now that your hair is done, let's go pick fruit. While speaking, he carries her away. Leif follows them to pick fruit. The three suddenly hear a wolf howl and turn to see a silver-maned giant wolf before them. Leah, I found Maeve. Great. Thank you for your hard work, Kale. Not hard at all. Maeve is our friend too. Kale returns to human form. Leora searches hard among the wolf pack for Maeve's figure, almost immediately spotting Maeve on a giant bear's back. Where did that bear come from? Seraphis says ominously. He's the abandoned who stole Maeve. Kael, why did you let him follow the wolf pack back? Kael's expression is complex. Just ask Maeve directly. The process is complicated. Maeve goes to the cave to change clothes, leaving Bran the bear at a complete loss. The wolf pack immediately surrounds him when Maeve leaves, settling both public and private grudges. Bran gets beaten and flees everywhere. His painful bear roars, echoing through the forest. Leora asks Kael beside her, why doesn't that bear run far away? Kyle explains matter-of-factly because he can't bear to leave. He has designs on Maeve, and the bear voluntarily brought Maeve back. I didn't ask for details, we'll ask Maeve when she comes out. Seraphis puts his arm around Leora's shoulder. Leah, don't worry about that bear. Let's go back. The beaten Bran had long expected this situation. He knew returning would face the wolf pack's fury. He was prepared to lose his life, only hoping to see Maeve one more time before dying. Leora feels she should inform Maeve and runs back to the cave. Maeve! The bear outside is being attacked by the wolf pack. Does it matter if they beat him to death? Maeve, who's changing clothes, is instantly startled. Quick, get Kale to stop them. Don't let them kill Bran. He didn't do anything to harm me. She says this while hurriedly putting on her dress and running out. Kale, stop fighting first. Listen to me. Kale roars at the wolf pack, and they reluctantly stop. Bran is already beaten nearly to death. Maeve, who rushed over, sees this and her heart skips a beat. She immediately crouches down to check the bear's breathing. Though weak, he's still breathing. Leah! Maeve looks at Leora pleadingly. Please help him. I'll owe you this favor. Leora says helplessly. If you'd given a heads up earlier, he wouldn't have been beaten this badly. Everyone move aside and let me treat him. Leora crouches down to treat the bear. Milky white healing light envelops the bear's entire body. Maeve softly says thank you. Seraphis glances meaningfully at Kyle, as if saying, this is your doing? Your subordinates vented their anger, but Leah has to do the healing. Kyle is also very annoyed, looking at Maeve with slight dissatisfaction. Sensing the three men's slightly dissatisfied gazes, Maeve can't help but smile bitterly. Kyle, Leif, Seraphis, thank you. I'm very grateful you came to rescue me. I owe you all a favor. Leif asks, why save the man who kidnapped you? Bran didn't actually harm me, and he agreed to bring me back after I persuaded him. He's not a bad person, so I want to help him. The three men exchange glances. Kyle says indifferently, we respect your decision. As fellow abandoned, they can understand the man. After all, didn't they originally capture Leah in the same way? Fortunately, there were no casualties. Maeve sincerely thanks them, thank you all. You're all good people. Speaking of which, I was knocked unconscious in my sleep. Leora hurriedly explains, it's partly our fault too. We went stargazing for a while last night, and then you had your incident. Looks like we shouldn't go stargazing anymore, it's not safe. It's all because of these three men. If they hadn't insisted on going, today wouldn't have been such a mess. The guilty three men keep their eyes down and remain silent. Just then, an earth-shaking lion's roar echoes from the forest to the wolfpack camp. As the lion's roar fades, it's followed by various chaotic roars. The expressions of Kyle, Seraphis, and Leif all change. That lion actually tracked us down. Seraphis immediately scoops up Leora, Leah, you and Maeve hide in the cave and don't come out. Leora is stunned. What about this bear? Seraphis frowns. Carry him to the cave. We can't worry about much else now. He says this while holding Leora with one hand and grabbing Maeve with the other, flying toward the cave. Kyle handles moving the man. Leif, you guard Leah and the others at the cave entrance. Seraphis is about to leave when suddenly a shout comes from outside. There's me too! Let me hide with you! Before the three can refuse, Rebecca has already shamelessly run in. Seraphis really can't stand this person, Leah. Should I throw her out? Rebecca hurriedly covers her belly and starts wailing. Don't drive me away! My child hasn't been born yet! Seeing she's pregnant, Leora says, never mind, Seraphis. Let her hide here for a while. Since Leah agrees, Seraphis says nothing more and leaves the cave. As the roars draw closer, Kyle roars and the wolfpack takes the initiative to attack. Soon, a huge golden-maned lion bursts from the forest and lunges at Kyle. They immediately grapple together, with both leaders fighting. The subordinates aren't idle either. Battle has erupted. The golden-maned lion has been severely eroded by the virus. Most of the time, he doesn't know who he is. He only knows he's a leader, the forest's overlord, who won't tolerate any provocation. At this moment, Seraphis launching sneak attacks from above has already filled the golden lion with rage, and the crimson in his eyes deepens again. Kyle can't help but curse, he's going berserk again. Seraphis, let's lure him away. Got it. Seraphis has experience with this. However, an unexpected change occurs. Another group of abandoned emerges from nowhere and joins the melee. What's worse is that this suddenly appearing group is allied with the lions. The previously balanced situation immediately becomes one-sided. The berserk golden-maned lion radiates golden light and charges straight toward the camp. Leif immediately transforms into a towering tree, blocking the charging golden-maned figure. The golden lion leader never expected another plant lurking here and engages in combat again. Seraphis immediately joins the battle. Under their combined efforts, the already injured golden lion leader gradually shows signs of exhaustion. Just as victory seems within reach, suddenly the wolf defense line is breached, and a group of berserk abandoned charge toward the camp. Fortunately, Bran has been revived, but he hasn't reacted yet. Maeve urges him, "Bran, now that you're recovered, hurry out and help. Remember, the wolves are allies. Beat everyone else to death." Then she pushes the bear outside. Stepping out into a battlefield, the confused bear's eyes instantly clear. At Seraphis's angry shout, he roars and charges in. With Bran's addition, the situation is finally controlled. With the bear gone, the cave entrance is empty and undefended. The three inside are terrified without any sense of security. Maeve suggests moving stones to block the cave entrance. Unfortunately, just as Maeve and Rebecca exit the cave, they're spotted by the golden-maned lion. The berserk lion sees no distinction between men and women. He almost instantly locks onto the weak Rebecca and charges toward them. Rebecca is already scared stiff. In desperation, she tries to push Maeve out to block the attack, but finds no one beside her. As Rebecca screams, Maeve has already transformed into beast form and is climbing up the rock wall. At this moment, she can't return to the cave without causing her own death and endangering Leora, so she runs alone in a direction away from the battle. More and more abandoned go berserk, and the situation spirals out of control. Seraphis decisively shouts, "Leif, we need to take Leah and leave now! KL, we're retreating! They must ensure Leora's safety first." Fortunately, Maeve was smart to run first. The three men had the same idea. Kale howls to his wolf pack and runs first. Seraphis can fly, so having him carry Leora is safest. In just a few sentences, Seraphis, Kael, and Leif have each disappeared, and the wolf pack is also retreating in an orderly fashion. Seeing his allies fled, Bran looks around for his Maeve. Carefully sniffing the air, he charges in the direction where Maeve's scent is strongest. After killing 2 wolves, the golden lion realizes the bloody scent he'd locked onto has vanished. He sniffs lightly, then immediately climbs the rock wall following the trail. Above the rock wall is forest, where Maeve fled alone. Seeing Seraphis's signal from the sky, she heads toward the meeting point. Maeve runs alertly through the woods. The next second, intense crisis floods her heart. Besides her own footsteps, she hears other subtle sounds. She can't identify what they are, but has a bad feeling. Thinking this is bad, she wonders if abandoned have pursued her. She doesn't dare look back and runs forward desperately. A petite golden lioness runs ahead, while behind her, another powerful golden lion quietly appears. Behind the golden lion is Bran, who followed Maeve's scent trail here. The crisis intensifies. Maeve's heart rises to her throat. She knows someone is chasing but doesn't know who. She doesn't dare stop. Worse still, she's running out of stamina. Just as she's thinking of ways to lose her pursuer, something stirs ahead. In a flash, a huge golden lion bursts out. She immediately recognizes this as the Berserk level 9 abandoned. Her heart completely sinks. The lion immediately pounces. The size difference leaves her no chance to resist. She's pinned to the ground. Fresh blood flows into the lion's mouth. The lion's body suddenly freezes, and strange pain flashes in his crimson eyes. Maeve cries out in pain, thinking she's about to die, but the lion stops moving and stares at her with an odd gaze. The bloody scent rushes into the lion's nose. Somehow it feels so familiar and appealing. Realizing something, Maeve stares in shock. "Big brother? Is that you? Lionel Ashford?" The name Lionel makes the golden lion's eyes fill with deeper pain. His head feels like it's splitting, and he moves away from Maeve, rolling on the ground in agony, frantically smashing his head against surrounding trees. Maeve covers her neck and stands up. The teeth only pierced her skin without going through, and fortunately didn't hit a major artery. Watching the golden-maned lion practically self-harming, Maeve's eyes redden. "I'm Maeve. Do you remember me?" Clearly the golden-maned lion can't hear anything now. Seeing her brother in this state, Maeve can't help but cry. She can't imagine what kind of suffering her brother has endured all these years. Fortunately, Leah can purify. She needs to hurry and meet with Seraphis. She shouts to the rolling golden-maned lion, "Brother, wait for me! I'll find someone to save you right away!" Maeve takes one last reluctant look at her brother and prepares to run to the meeting point. But when she moves, the golden-maned lion, ignoring his nearly exploding head, stumbles to block her path. Those crimson eyes are like a fog, but very stubborn. He instinctively doesn't want the woman before him to leave. Just as he's about to carry her away, a black shadow suddenly appears from behind and heavily knocks him away. The flying body breaks through over a dozen trees before stopping. The golden-maned lion finally can't hold on, spits up blood and falls unconscious. Bran's eyes immediately brighten. He can't miss this opportunity. Just as he's about to slap the golden-maned lion to death, Maeve shouts loudly, "Bran, don't! That's my brother. Carry him with us to meet Seraphis and the others." After meeting up and understanding the whole story, Leora begins concentrating on treating the golden-maned lion. Leif, Kael, and Seraphis worry about where to rest tonight. Kael really can't bear to abandon his chosen campsite. "Leif, you and Seraphis guard Leah here. I'll go back and check." If no one's at the camp, we'll return. But Seraphis says, let me go back and look. I'm faster than you, and hopefully I can return before dark. Then be careful. Kael doesn't object. Flying is indeed faster. Kael's casual concern surprises Seraphis for a moment. You actually care about me. Never mind, I'm leaving. Seraphis spreads his wings and flies away. Watching enviously, Bran thinks the winged serpent might be royalty. Realizing this makes Bran feel somewhat inferior, with so many excellent men around Maeve. Does he have a chance? Even if he doesn't, he must try to make the female accept him. He doesn't want to be alone anymore. That kind of life is too lonely and meaningless. Maeve, focused on observing her brother's condition, doesn't notice Bran's state at all. She's looking for anything familiar on the lion. But unfortunately, after so many years, her memories of her brother only remain from his human form. She doesn't know his beast form. If he hadn't smelled her own blood, she might never have recognized him. Leora, concentrating on treatment beside her, rarely shows fatigue. The lion's body is in terrible condition. Purification isn't as easy as with Kael and the others. But what amazes her is that despite such terrible condition, Lionel could still recognize Maeve. His strength must be incredible, completely matching Seraphis and the others. Suddenly, someone touches her forehead. Maeve is wiping her sweat. Thank you, Leora says. Maeve shakes her head. I should thank you. We don't need such formality between us. You accept me as a sister, so your brother is my brother too, Leora says with a smile. Maeve smiles. My brother will be very happy to have another sister when he wakes up. About half an hour later, Seraphis returns. I checked thoroughly. The camp is destroyed and chaotic, but those berserk abandoned have left. Should we go back now? Kael looks at Leora, who's still treating. Leah, let's go back to camp first. Okay, let's take Maeve's brother too. He's seriously injured and will need long-term treatment. Kael nods lightly and assigns Bran the task of carrying the golden-maned lion. By the time they return to camp, it's completely dark. The cave is still intact, but the camp area looks like it was bombed. The vegetable patch has become uneven mud pits, and the once thriving fruit trees are now crooked and fallen. Seeing this scene, the wolf pack feels heartbroken. This patch of wild grass was their hope, and now nothing remains. Leif and Seraphis clean up the cave again. After Maeve prepares the cave, she has Bran carry the lion inside. Bran in beast form wants to help the busy Leif and others but doesn't know how. He paces anxiously around the cave, ready for Maeve's orders, glancing inadvertently toward the crooked fruit trees. His eyes widen in shock. My God, is he hallucinating? The fruit trees were clearly crooked when they returned. During this time cleaning the cave, the trees are somehow laden with fruit again. When did these fruits grow? Could the beast god have secretly sent rewards? The wolf pack, noticing the same thing as Bran, shares his thoughts at this moment. Such a miracle happened right under their noses. Kael and the others take in the wolf pack's amazement and return to rest in the cave. Leora keeps her contributions secret. When tomorrow's sun rises, it will be another day full of hope. Since that battle ended, the wolf pack has been peaceful for 2 days. Leora pushes aside the stone blocking the cave. The sun generously bathes the earth in light. Looking out, she sees men more dazzling than sunlight. It's like arriving at Magic Mike. Muscular, handsome men make Leora stare wide-eyed. While Leora is still dazed, Seraphis blocks her burning gaze with a dark expression. Leah, are they better looking than me? Seraphis's gentle voice carries a hint of coldness and barely perceptible jealousy. How could that be? You're definitely the most handsome, Leora says, blushing and looking away. Seraphis snorts and leads Leora back into the cave. Leah, I think you should sleep a bit more. Kael, go set your boys straight. Kael can't help grinding his teeth and immediately grabs Leif to go outside. An angry wolf howl gathers the wolf pack. I understand your excitement about your new lives, and I allow you to go far from camp to release that excitement. But when you return, you must all wear clothes properly. Understand? As soon as he finishes, Leif has prepared dozens of thin vines. Kael takes them and throws them directly at the wolves for wearing leaves. Now get lost. After clumsily dividing the vines, the wolf pack runs away, leaving only dark-skinned, burly Bran holding thin vines helplessly. I'm not a wolf. Do I have to wear clothes too? Leif looks at him stonily. Unless you don't want to be a man. Bran shivers and quickly follows the wolf pack's footsteps. Leif and Kael return to the cave, planning to ask Leora what she wants to eat. But entering the cave, they see Seraphis and Leora snuggled intimately together. This snake really knows how to seize opportunities. In the Empire's capital, the highest level court, a man in a black suit is denouncing his lady's crimes. Your Majesty, I can confirm I personally witnessed Lady Maeve kill Dylan. After discovering I was secretly watching, she wanted to kill me too. Having no choice, I could only flee and report to the police. After describing his lady's crimes, the man covers his face in pain. Harry, what are you saying? How dare you betray your lady? Another man on the bench glares angrily at the speaker. The angry man has gray hair, a tall, sturdy build, fierce eyebrows, and murderous eyes. This is Gareth, Maeve's first mate. Your Majesty, Maeve is a count you personally appointed. Even if she committed crimes, she should be judged by you, not secretly sent to Vamo. Moreover, the truth hasn't been determined yet. Your Majesty, please allow me to go to Vamo and bring my lady back. Queen's expression is very ugly. Why am I only hearing about this now? Who was responsible for this case? I want to see who has such authority to dare dispose of a count I personally appointed. Everyone can hear the queen's fury. The various nobles present lower their heads, not daring to breathe heavily. Maeve's mother angrily points at Harry. You wretch! Who instructed you to frame my daughter? Harry blushes and argues. I'm not framing anyone. I saw it with my own eyes. Gareth and the others can. Wait, Your Majesty, why not bring Maeve back from Vamo for public investigation? Every day's delay puts Maeve in more danger. We can't wait any longer. Please grant permission. At this moment, Gareth and his two brothers feel very guilty and panicked. Maeve disappeared for several days. They searched many places before learning she'd been exiled to Vamo as a criminal. They nearly destroyed the police station. They knew better than anyone what kind of person their mate was, but never expected the traitor to be right beside them. If Harry hadn't deliberately confused their attention, they wouldn't have taken days to discover Maeve's whereabouts. Gareth isn't one to be trifled with either. He immediately informed the Queen, leading to today's trial. At this moment, the official responsible for sending criminals to Vamo rushes in frantically. Queen angrily smashes a cup. Who gave you permission to send the Count to Vamo? The official looks completely bewildered. Your Majesty, wasn't that your personal approval? Queen thinks of something and frowns slightly. Seems like not only does Maeve have traitors around her, but her own circle isn't clean either. Queen's expression is stern, smiling coldly. Charles, I'm putting you in charge of investigating this. Someone seems to covet my position. Queen's eyes flash with anger. In 200 years of rule, this is the first time such a thing has happened. Do they think that with no daughter to succeed her, they can finally make their move? The lady's fury makes Charles's eyes sharpen. He surveys all the nobles present with a piercing gaze, and those being observed feel their hearts pounding. The Empire's strongest warrior's pressure is no joke. Before they can speak, Queen has already given orders. Gareth, I grant you temporary command of the Royal 10th Squadron. Take battleship 758 to retrieve Count Maeve. Yes, Your Majesty. Gareth kneels on one knee, then leaves the court with Maeve's other two mates. Lionel feels like he had a wonderfully beautiful dream, where he still looked like one of the abandoned, but he no longer felt pain and was frolicking happily. He slowly opens his eyes, and the first thing he sees is a beautiful face. The beautiful woman lies beside him with her eyes closed, sleeping peacefully. Lionel is stunned, staring blankly at the woman for a long while, unable to tell if this is reality or a dream. He doesn't dare to move at all, greedily savoring this moment. Afraid of ruining this beautiful dream, Lionel takes a deep breath, but the next second he frowns slightly. Why does the woman carry the scent of other men? This dream is quite strange. Lionel looks around. He's in a cave. As his senses return, he not only smells various scents in the cave, but also faintly hears people talking. What's going on? Is this not a dream? Lionel moves his claws. Leora opens her eyes and is caught off guard by a pair of amber jewel-like eyes. Leora smiles and says, You're finally awake. That's wonderful. I'll go get Maeve. With that, she gets up and runs out. Lionel is at a loss. This doesn't seem like a dream. He moves his body, stumbling as he gets up from the ground and walks out of the cave. Leora runs outside and looks around but doesn't see Maeve anywhere, while the three men who heard her commotion come running over. Maeve went to the river with Bran to wash the hides. Is that lion awake? The three men look over, and Lionel happens to emerge from the cave. The four pairs of eyes meet, and in an instant they can read the lion's thoughts. Seraphis and the others observe for over 10 seconds before feeling slightly relieved. The red in the lion's eyes has completely faded, his expression is clear, it seems he's recovered quite well. Kael says mockingly, Consider yourself lucky. If it weren't for your good sister, you wouldn't be seeing today's sun. What sister? Lionel looks at them with confusion, his gaze finally settling on Leora. Leora explains to him, Here's the situation. We're Maeve's friends. You were severely injured and unconscious for 2 days. Do you remember anything? The lion's eyes remain confused as he thinks to himself, who is Maeve? Leora finds this difficult. Never mind, you should go back to the cave and rest first. Maeve will be back soon, and she can explain everything to you then. Lionel stares at Leora's face without moving. This behavior displeases the other three men, and Kael suddenly kicks toward Lionel. Lionel reflexively jumps aside to dodge the kick. Kael sneers coldly, This is our mate. I hope you can show some respect. Lionel's breath catches, his gaze sweeps over the four people, and for some reason he feels a bit disappointed. Leora introduces herself as gently as possible. My name is Leora, and these three are all my mates. After Leora introduces her side, she says, Your body has just recovered a bit. You should go back to the cave and rest first. Maeve will be back soon. Just as Leora is thinking about how to persuade him to go back and rest, she's suddenly swept up in Seraphis's arms in a princess carry. Leah, he's probably been one of the abandoned for too long and can't understand human speech. Don't waste words on him. This is Maeve's brother. Let Maeve communicate with him slowly. We need to have a good talk. What do we need to talk about? Why are you carrying me? Leora now can't help but blush whenever Seraphis touches her. You guys are going too far, Leora says in frustration. Meanwhile, Lionel watches helplessly as Leora is carried away from the camp by her mates. Although it has nothing to do with him, he feels very unhappy and has an impulse to destroy their relationship, but he rationally suppresses this urge. He needs to understand the current situation first. No way! If you dare to mess around again, I'll get angry. Leora crosses her arms protectively over her chest, looking at them defensively. Seeing Leora so resistant, the three men have to abandon their idea. Leif says helplessly, Leah, don't be angry. We won't do anything here today. That's good. She breathes a sigh of relief. Kyle says, Leah, from now on you're not allowed to speak so gently to other men. You were too gentle with him. His eyes were practically glued to you. Leora is speechless. How was I being gentle? I was just speaking normally. Do I speak loudly to you guys? You were just being fierce with us. All three men nod together. Leora is somewhat speechless. Wasn't it because Seraphis suddenly carried me toward the forest? You guys scared me. I want to discuss something with you. Can we not mate for the near future? There are many strangers around recently and I don't like it. Besides, it's getting colder and while you're not afraid of the cold, I am. Just bear with it, we have plenty of time in the future. Leora doesn't resist being intimate with them, but this environment gives her no sense of security. The three men exchange glances and frown slightly. What the woman says is objective fact. They can't harm Leora's body for their own selfish desires. Leif says, all right, Leora, we promise you. We respect your wishes. We'll find a way to return to the Empire as soon as possible and get your life back on track. Leora nods emphatically. That's wonderful. Let's go back. Maeve might already be back. The four return to camp chatting and laughing and run into Maeve, a bruised Bran, and several members of the wolf pack. Maeve, you're back? Her gaze sweeps over the bear people behind Maeve. What happened to all of you? Maeve notices her gaze and can't help feeling irritated. These wolves are so annoying, following everywhere. Won't leave no matter how much you scold or try to shake them off. They start fighting at the slightest disagreement, and poor naive Bran gets ganged up on by them. Don't even mention it, they're driving me crazy. Maeve glares angrily at those wolves. The wolves being glared at all have expressions of being ready to take any beating or scolding. If Maeve actually had a whip in her hands, these shameless wolves would definitely compete to ask her to whip them first. Leora watches cheerfully. Finally, it's her turn to see Maeve's drama. Oh right, I almost forgot. Lionel is awake and should be waiting for you in the cave right now. Really? That's wonderful. Maeve shows delight and quickly runs toward the cave. As soon as she moves, the men behind her follow. Bran, carrying a wooden basin filled with animal hides, nods to greet them as he passes by. Leora politely smiles back, watching Maeve and the attentive people behind her, her eyes flickering. Who do you think Maeve will ultimately choose as her mate? Kale says irresponsibly. Maybe she'll take them all. Seraphis doesn't know Maeve well and doesn't participate in the discussion. Leif understands Maeve's temperament somewhat. Most likely she won't choose any of them. Don't forget she's a noble lady. How could she take a liking to these abandoned? Hearing this, Leora raises her eyes with a half smile. Aren't you guys also abandoned? Did that stop you from winning me over? Or are you saying I'm only worthy of you few wanderers? Leif quickly denies Leah, that's not what I meant. I don't want to talk to you guys right now. Leora snorts lightly, and also heads toward Maeve's cave. Seraphis looks at Leif with annoyance. You offended Leora and dragged us down with you. Kyle shakes his head speechlessly. How can the frustrated Leif explain? He really didn't mean it that way. Actually, Leora isn't really angry, she just found an excuse to not stick together with the three of them. Before Maeve reaches the cave, Lionel has already voluntarily come out of the cave. A golden-maned lion appears in Maeve's sight. She gradually slows her pace, with excitement, joy, and a barely visible hint of nervousness in her eyes. Lionel's mind is filled only with confusion. Who is she? The unfamiliarity and wariness in the lion's eyes make Maeve's eyes redden. Do you still remember me? I'm Maeve. Lionel carefully tries to recall the name Maeve, but his mind remains blank. Seeing her brother's indifferent and unmoved appearance, Maeve can't help but let tears fall. Lionel Ashford, you haven't forgotten me, have you? I couldn't even transform when we parted. And after all these years, I still remember you as my brother. But you've long forgotten me. The tearful Maeve is not only hurt but also angry. It's one thing for other brothers not to be close to her, but her own brother doesn't remember her. In her anger, Maeve transforms into beast form without thinking and pounces on the big lion to bite his ear, just like when they were little. Lionel is stunned by her action. Then the lion with the same colored fur as him pounces over. He instinctively wants to fight back, but is afraid of hurting her, so he forcibly restrains himself. One ear suffers as a result, and Lionel roars in pain. Maeve bites Lionel's ear vengefully. Lionel can't speak and can only shake his body slightly. In her fury, Maeve bites his fur while saying, "You bastard brother! You forgot me! Do you still remember who your father and mother are? Do you still remember when you were human and used to hold me and call me May? May!" Lionel's body suddenly freezes as an image surfaces in his mind. A little cub with several small braids tied with pink ribbons on her head, calling him brother in a sweet voice using beast language. Could it be? Lionel incredulously shakes the lion off his body and examines her carefully. Are you May? Maeve responds pitifully, brother. I really am May. Over 20 years have passed, and I'm already an adult. Lionel is shocked by the time span his sister mentions. Has it really been over 20 years? Oh, I'm sorry, May. Please forgive me. The big lion's golden eyes fill with moisture, and Maeve, crying tears of joy, keeps nuzzling her brother's front legs. The scene of two big, fluffy creatures recognizing each other as family moves Leora deeply. How wonderful! She genuinely feels happy for Maeve and can't help but fantasize. Where are her parents? When they return to the Empire, will there be a chance to meet? As soon as the thought flashes through her mind, she pushes it down. It's better not to meet. The siblings express their excitement over the family reunion in beast language, while Bran and the wolves behave very well, trying to make a good impression on their future brother-in-law. Let me introduce my friends to you. After transforming back to human form as quickly as possible and putting on her clothes, Maeve takes Leora's hand and introduces. This is my friend and my adopted sister. Her name is Leora. She has healing powers, and she's the one who saved you. His attracted gaze turns to Leora, so she was the one who saved him. She's not only beautiful, but also has a good personality. Unfortunately, she already has mates. Maeve continues to introduce Seraphis and the other two. From the brief introductions, Lionel can sense that his sister has a good relationship with these people. However, when it comes to Bran and the wolves, Maeve just summarizes, this bear is called Bran, and the other wolves are all Kyle's subordinates. Bran then introduces himself naively. Hello, Lionel. I'm Maeve's guardian. We'll be family from now on. Lionel, who hadn't taken him seriously before, instantly changes his expression. His gaze sharply examines the dark-skinned man in front of him. Rough features, nowhere near handsome. His body is strong though, over 2 meters tall, well-muscled, with an honest face. How dare this fool have designs on his sister? Leora's group takes their leave. Lionel watches the four people's departing figures, wanting to say something but having no opportunity. Maeve can't help but sigh softly. Brother, when you recover, you'll have a chance to thank Leora. Lionel lowers his eyes, thinking his sister is talking about his physical recovery. But what good would recovery do? He's still one of the abandoned and doesn't even have the right to speak to Leora. In a bad mood, Lionel turns his gaze to Bran. Sensing Lionel's unfriendly stare, Bran points to the wooden basin on the ground. Maeve, I'll put the animal hides in the cave for you and then leave. Maeve nods. Then, under Lionel's cold stare, Bran carries the wooden basin into the cave and runs away. Hearing the big lions roar just now, Leora thought there was going to be another fight, but after finding out nothing happened, she quietly returned to the cave. Facing the three men's slightly jealous looks, she continues their earlier conversation. You can't act like this anymore in the future, understand? How old are you guys? How childish, Kyle says confidently. Leora, I can tell he's interested in you. Men understand men best. What Kyle can sense, Seraphis and Leif naturally can too. Men are very sensitive to this kind of predatory gaze, even when the lion didn't show it, obviously. Leora is both amused and exasperated by the three men's serious expressions. How can you tell? He didn't even say a single word to me. Even if he really has those intentions, would I accept him? Having you three is enough for me. I won't look for other men anymore. Just relax. Leora never thought she'd have such a day. These three men give her the illusion that she's someone irresponsible about relationships, constantly being guarded against cheating by her mates. The woman's words delight the three men. Leah, really? You won't look for other men besides us? Leora nods emphatically. She can't handle these three? What if there were more? If it weren't for accidentally gaining Seraphis, she thinks 2 would have been enough. But it's not bad now either. One who can fly, one who can run, and one who grows from the earth. They're just missing one who swims in water. But Leora herself is a landlubber. So forget about fish, she's not here to learn swimming. Seraphis is a man of action and directly lifts Leora up, spinning her around happily. Kyle and Leif, who were a step slower, show hints of dissatisfaction in their eyes. This snake is too shameless and doesn't follow rules. Especially Kyle, he feels his luck is terrible. Every time it's his turn, either something happens or Leah becomes unwilling. He feels like it's been a long time since he was intimate with Leah, and can't help feeling wronged and jealous. Leora turns and meets Kyle and Leif's resentful gazes. Her eye twitches involuntarily. Without extra words, she directly wraps her arms around Leif's neck, stands on her toes, and kisses his lips. Leif's mood immediately soars. This is the first time Leora has actively kissed him. Kale beside them is also surprised for a moment, then immediately becomes expectant. Because Leif is too flattered and hasn't had time to properly savor the kiss, Leora turns and throws herself into Kyle's embrace. Leora cups Kyle's face with both hands and compliments him with a smile. Kyle, you're so handsome! This makes all three men's hearts flutter. In the neighboring cave, the siblings Maeve and Lionel talked for a long time until they came out just before sunset. Maeve's stomach is growling with hunger, and Lionel also comes out to prepare for hunting. Maeve walks to the neighboring cave entrance and asks, Leora, what are we eating tonight? As soon as she finishes speaking, they hear Bran shouting, Maeve, I caught fish for you! His voice is so loud that everyone hears it. Bran is seen holding a string of lively jumping fish. Leora's eyes light up. Bran, give me one. I want to try making fish soup tonight, no problem. Bran takes the fish Leora chose and tosses it to Leif, then gives the rest to Maeve, whichever one you fancy. We'll grill that one tonight. Bran's appearance isn't as outstanding as Kyle and the others, but he's not ugly either, honest-looking, brows and eyes. Clearly a sincere person. But appearance isn't the most important thing, strength is what matters most. Let's grill them all so everyone can eat together. Maeve is actually inviting him to eat together? Bran immediately agrees happily. Lionel informs his sister and is about to go hunting, but deliberately passes by Bran as he leaves. Without anyone seeing how he did it, Bran suddenly falls face first to the ground, while the culprit has already left the camp like a golden streak of light. Leora watches in amazement. It seems Lionel has quite a few objections to Bran, his potential brother-in-law. Bran has a mouthful of dirt, and the fish are scattered on the ground. He looks quite disheveled. Maeve is also caught off guard by her brother's action and says somewhat awkwardly, Sorry about that, Bran. Are you hurt from the fall? The risen Bran isn't angry, but rather anxious. I'm not hurt, but your brother doesn't seem to like me. Maeve shakes her head helplessly. Bran, don't mind my brother. If my father were here, he'd do something even more dramatic. Don't feel burdened. Whether we're suitable is between us two. Bran's mood instantly brightens, his eyes shining as he nods. Maeve, you're right. I can understand your brother's behavior. I'll work hard to earn his approval. I'll go clean these fish right away and grill them for you. With that, Bran cheerfully leaves carrying the fish. Maeve, are you really going to be with Bran? Maeve shakes her head. I haven't decided yet. Let things take their natural course. Maeve shrugs. I'm so hungry. Leah, let's cook quickly. All right, I'll start the fire. We'll have fish soup tonight and make some stir-fried wild vegetables with eggs. The moisture-laden wild vegetables sizzle on the stone slab. What delicious thing is Leora making? Why does it smell so good? Bran, who went outside to clean the fish scales, comes over following the aroma. As soon as he arrives, Lionel also returns well-fed, carrying a big fat rabbit in his mouth, which he drops beside Leora. This is a thank you gift for Leora. Lionel glances at the bowl of steaming stir-fried wild vegetables and eggs, then roars once at the woman. Maeve translates, Leora, my brother says this is for you, thanking you for helping heal his injuries. Leora smiles embarrassedly. Lionel is too kind. Have you eaten your fill? Would you like to try the dish I just made? The big lion nods his large head without reservation, then shrinks in size and crouches to the side. The glares from Seraphis and the other two are undisguised. How shameless, thinking he can mooch off their meal with just one rabbit, even though Leah assured them in the afternoon. They just find this guy unpleasant to look at. No one notices the three men's displeasure. Leora and Maeve are quite happy anyway. Meals are more lively with more people. The grilled meat and fish soup are still warming over the fire. Bran moves the cooking stone slab aside and uses the fire below to grill fish. Everyone sits around the fire pit, both warm and lively. Lionel's gaze lingers on Leora's face. Those delicate, rosy cheeks are so out of place with their surroundings. Such a beautiful person should be living in a noble's castle, not in the barren wasteland of Vamo. This afternoon, he learned from his sister why they came to be here. Along with anger comes a deep sense of powerlessness. Having become one of the abandoned, he can do nothing. He can't protect his own sister, let alone send them back. He even wishes Maeve hadn't recognized him, so that in her heart, he would forever remain that strong brother. Not a cursed member of the abandoned, but he's also glad Maeve recognized him, giving him some memorable times for the rest of his life. He's very conflicted. He's long seen that the owners of this wolfpack camp don't welcome him, and with his pride, he should have left already. But he shamelessly continues to stay for Maeve, and also for that heart-stirring feeling from his dream. A few minutes later, all the food is ready. Several people sit around together eating and chatting, their relationships growing much closer. Full and satisfied, Maeve pats her warm belly. Now this is what I call eating. This belly-patting gesture makes Bran's heart flutter, and his gaze lingers on Maeve more frequently than usual. Leora agrees. Yes, this meal was so comfortable. Tomorrow we'll continue with fish soup. The weather is already late. Autumn now, but she's still wearing a summer leaf dress. It's really cold at night. These past few nights, she's been curling up in Kyle's arms like a koala to fall asleep. Leif says with concern, Leah, the animal hide will be mostly dry tomorrow. Once I finish making the clothes, you can wear them. Leora feels secretly excited, finally going to wear fur, after chatting for a while. Leora and Maeve each return to their caves to rest. The night wind is cool, and staying outside too long would be cold, so Maeve and her brother also return to the cave. Bran stands at the cave entrance, wanting to speak but hesitating. Seeing this, Maeve says to Lionel, you rest first. I'll go chat with Bran for a bit. Don't worry, Bran is an honest man. He won't bully me before I agree to anything. Maeve leaves, leaving only her worried brother in the cave watching her departing figure. The two walk out of the camp while chatting, and the wolves behind them are so jealous their faces are about to contort. In the forest, Maeve and Bran find a place where the moonlight is particularly bright and stop, looking up together to admire the starry sky. Maeve, I still don't know how many mates you have. 5. Maeve's gaze remains fixed on the night sky. Bran's heart aches terribly. Although he's nothing to Maeve yet, he's already feeling jealous. Jealous of those 5 men who can share a bed with Maeve. Are they all outstanding? Maeve nods. Yes. Very outstanding. But now only 3 are left. Why? Maeve feels she's told this embarrassing story so many times she doesn't want to repeat it. Seeing Maeve silent, Bran doesn't dare ask another question, afraid too many questions might annoy her. Despite his decent strength, he's still insecure deep down. But right now, Maeve just wants to quietly gaze at the moon. Too many things have accumulated in her heart. She needs to breathe or she'll suffocate. She doesn't speak, and Bran doesn't speak either. Maeve looks at the starry sky, while Bran only looks at her. They remain silent for a long time, until Maeve's neck feels a bit sore, and she looks away. As soon as she turns her head, she meets a pair of eyes full of adoration. Bran knows Maeve might be missing her mates back in the Empire, but he doesn't care. Maeve, I love you, Bran blurts out when she looks over.